All right. So back into it. Societal pressures on milestones. So what do you think about that? As far as pressures, as far as like when you should get married, the age to have kids, and things of that nature. Do you think this is a big thing, or do you think this is just me just starting a conversation, or is this a real
I,
thing?
I think it's a real thing. I think it's good and bad. I think you have people who uh, they rush into decisions based on this, and then you have other people who they kind of need it. Like you need it to be a roadmap, right? Some people kind of I don't know. I want to say that they kind of go through life not necessarily knowing what to do. They kind of use this as their map, right? Their GPS. So in your 20s you see somebody doing something. In your 30s you see somebody doing something. I think what has happened now is that it's gotten messed up because now we're looking at people accomplishing things earlier in life now more so than before. So now you have 19, 20-year olds being multimillionaires and they're doing this stuff off of the internet and being content creators and things like that. Whereas before you kind of had to, a word that I hated that became a popular thing was generational wealth, where people started kind of using it to death and they were, oh, let's all build generational wealth. People are now finding this wealth and it's coming so easy now that people are trying to find different ways now. Like, what do you do after this? A perfect example of somebody I think who kind of allowed that timeline to mess them up, I would say, would be like Elizabeth Taylor or Jennifer Lopez, where they've gotten married so many times. It's almost like if they made an announcement now about their engagement or their marriage, it doesn't even matter because it's
Right.
happening so often. You kind of assume that marriage is a one and done thing, and they kind of do it on the spur, like almost like they're going on vacation. Hey, I got married today. Hey, I got married again. Hey, I got married again. And after like the ninth one, everybody's kind of sick and tired of it. But I think it's a great thing. You're starting to see people accomplish so much more now. And I think this generation, not mine, but the generation after mine, isn't necessarily tied down to that timeline. So they're out here doing things that people thought you can only do at a certain age. That they're doing it now in their 20s. Like I said, their late teens, early 20s. They're buying houses. They're into real estate. They're building that or closing that gap on certain things that people thought you couldn't do unless you're either a drug dealer or a rapper or a professional athlete.
Yeah, and you're able to see it now because of social media and all those different avenues that they show you these things. I don't know the numbers of how successful these people are becoming, but I would say it's something to keep inside your mental bag, but not necessarily worry about it too much as far as your game and how you're gonna approach life. It may not work the same for you. Everybody's different when it comes to that. I know. I'm about to say.
Bless
Excuse-
you.
Thanks. I'm about to say. I know I have a sneeze coming. I'm just trying to hold it, but I was thinking as you were talking, you said something that was important that I thought was cool about the years.
Hmm.
As far as like when you should people think you should do certain things, and I thought about something. Oh, I think another sneeze coming. Hold on. Oh man, as soon as I started talking, so I'm gonna cut that out. So as you were talking, I thought about something. I had to write it down because I was like, okay, we started the conversation, but now we're gonna keep it where it is. But now I'm gonna segue into something that's a little bit more nuanced, right? I just thought about something. The key is take your time, but try the best you can to take care of yourself aesthetically on the outside. Because I wrote that down as you were talking. I was like, the key is to try to look 10 years younger. So now you can take 10 years later to do whatever it is you want to do. You won't feel as bad. You see, I'm just trying to put the whole psyche involved because the deal
And
is with
I'm
people. Check this out. The deal is with people is they get upset because all my plans take 10 years. That's the first thing I tell people all the time. It's like, oh yeah, yeah. I'm thinking when I say you can do it, I'm thinking, yeah, you do this for 10 years. I think you're gonna be good. Yeah, yeah. All my plans take 10 years. So that's why I was just throwing it out there. Just try your best to look 10 years younger, and you don't have to worry about your plan taking so long.
I'm a so I definitely don't think you should put a timeline on something because I think sometimes again I think both good and bad, right? Timelines can help you to stop procrastinating, but I think timelines also sometimes push people to start rushing things, right? You rush the process, and at time, you miss out on what could be because you're so worried about pleasing society and not bringing out a good product, right? I don't know how long it took to make Pepsi or Coca Cola, but I doubt somebody was in their garage like, yo, it's a whole bunch of thirsty people out here and I just have to do this now, 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 right? They took their time and they put out a good product, and that's why it's still here to this day, which is why we're now in this day and age, we're still talking about Ford, right? And Chrysler and these vehicles because back then, those cars were made to last. When we think about like a Scion and a Kia and things of that nature, it's almost like a lot of those companies came and went because now we're looking at the aesthetics, right? The outside looked really good, but the engine sucked, right? It couldn't handle making contact to another vehicle, right? When you had them old Buicks is going up against 18 wheelers and winning. So the
but
outside, I think
check
sometimes
it
we
out.
can't put too much focus on the outside because the inside and what actually is what makes you.
But check it out. To tie into what I was saying about looking
Mhm.
10 years younger. So let's keep with your point with Ford and what else? You said Ford and you said something else.
Chrysler,
Ford and Chrysler. So did they kept with the times with the way their vehicles look and they're still around.
but
So
they
what
had a
I'm
good foundation though,
right, but it took years to build it, right?
right?
So to my point is what I'm saying is this is a balance between because everybody because you have the old what is it people say you don't want to be vacationing and so old and you're in Venice vacationing, you're old and you're on a boat and you just sleep like because you're so old. That's what people say. You understand what I'm saying? But then you hear the same success story when it comes to the KFC. You understand where he turned his life around at like 80 years old.
I
Like
think he was
I
50.
believe 60 he was broke and
He was
like about
50.
80. Yeah.
He was 50. He was 50
He
when
was 50.
yeah. That's
But
I don't know. I saw the meme too, but
but yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Is a balance. But everybody's life is different because I do believe there are a lot of people that are 10 years away if they decide to do it today.
if you buckle down, though.
Today, 10 years.
See, your 10 years, right, is 100% right. But the problem is, like you said, some people they procrastinate so much that their 10 years turn to 20, 30, and sometimes never, right? Because a lot of times I think people are looking for this almost like microwave type of thing, right? You pop something in the microwave, it takes you 2 minutes, right? Whereas my grandmother's generation, they didn't have a microwave. They had a stove, they had a pot, right? However long it took that water to boil, and whatever it is that you needed to make, it took some time, right? Now, if you just throw something in the microwave real quick, it may be hot, maybe it's not, maybe the top part is hot and then the middle is cold, right? It just depends on how much time I have or what it is that I'm working with. Nowadays, that's how people want success. So you do have a guy that has a great idea, right? But he has a horrible work ethic, right? You got a guy that does have an idea that in 10 years, if he just actually made it the proper way, right? It would be great. The problem is he has a horrible work ethic. I'll give you a perfect example. You remember this pink sauce that had gone viral maybe last year, I think it was? This girl had made a pink sauce in her house. It was like came like a Chick-fil-A box. But it was supposed to go on everything. It was like the greatest sauce in the world. And people were ordering it like crazy. Problem is she wanted that instant success. So as she was mailing it out, she didn't know how to refrigerate things. She didn't know what temperature it needed to go. So sometimes people were getting it, and now the sauce was like either runny, spoiled, or whatever the case is, right? We haven't heard anything from this pink sauce girl since, right? Because now obviously you give people spoiled food, they don't want to deal with you anymore. A lot of that I think is what we're dealing with in today's society, right? So is that my wrap it up music?
No, no, no. That was me doing that was by mistake. What happened was my allergies bothering me, so I tried to mute it when I was coughing and I pressed the wrong button. But to your point, the pink sauce. Yeah, there you go. There you go. There you go. That was more on time. Yeah, I messed up right there. But the answers to your deal with your pink sauce, and you were talking about the pink sauce and the girl with the
Yeah.
pink sauce, she couldn't keep up with it.
Yeah.
But that, I, society, I still believe you got to play your own game. That's the one thing. That's why it's easy for me to say that, because it seems like I'm naturally have certain proclivities that help me out when it comes to this stuff. And I'm not really into other individuals as much as I'm into the growth of what I'm doing, or who I am. So I'm so into that. So it makes it easy for me to say it. But I think people, they definitely have to play their own game. And that's the best part about it. Like, when you're good at your own game and what you're doing. And
Well, I'm biased right now. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm so biased that
what do you mean?
when when these minority success stories come up, right? I'm not impressed like the average person. So you know how like I talked about the pink sauce girl, right?
Right.
And it was a thing for her. Like those people, like everybody online kind of made it a thing. But for me, it was sort of like I'm waiting to see who's the next group of successful people, who that's going to be for next month or next year, right? I like to follow the longevity of success because I think that's a lost art, right? I think some people, it's like success is fleeting, so it's almost like it happens in January, maybe mid-January to end of January. Everybody's done with you, and they're on to the next thing, and that's in entertainment, that's in pretty much every area, even podcasting, right? But when I look at what I consider, and this is just my own version of true success, it's a success that has lasted over decades, different lifetimes is where I'm looking at the success to see where it started from, what's the foundation of the success, right? And why was it able to continue? Like for me now, I look at the difference between a Walmart and an Amazon, right? And why was it that Amazon was willing to, why was Amazon willing to put a lot of other stores out of business? But when it came to Amazon, they just wanted to partner with them as opposed to trying to put them out of business, right? So what is it that made like Amazon kind of bow down and say, well, hey, listen, I know that I can kind of beat these guys up, but when it comes to you, I'd much rather be friends than to try to be enemies, right? Because when I see these new stores pop up and these new things or these new people pop up, right? For me, I think one of my main questions is going to be like, well, how long are you going to be here for?
Right.
And until I see the longevity in their success, it's hard for me to really buy into whatever it is that they're selling because, like I said, for me, I want that almost like that old vibe when it comes to success or when I look at
But
things.
what you're saying, you're talking, it seems like you're talking about monetary success.
Nope.
And okay, because
No.
if it's a monetary thing, people move from different quintiles when it comes to money every 10 years. That's going to change. Like, even if you're making good money, if you're in the top tier, chances are you're not going to be there in 10 years as far as the money. So
How,
keeping it.
how long has Walmart been successful?
No, Walmart. I mean, what Walmart? That's Walmart. That's Walmart. But then think about uh, what was Walmart? But I only thing I can think about is Rickles and Channel.
You had
Was it
like
Rickles, Channel, and things of that nature that didn't work out?
Walmart. If when I was coming up, you had Woolworth.
Woolworths, yeah,
Yeah,
Woolworths,
you had like a
Cowdoors.
Woolworth.
Is it
Yeah, you
Cowdoors?
had those places.
Yeah,
Yeah. But see, my thing is that it's almost like I can't now having a 16-year-old, right? I can't remember a time that Walmart wasn't jumping, right? To see Toys R Us kind of go out of business. And what I'm saying is that it's not a financial thing, right? I'm not looking at it from a financial standpoint to say the only thing that really equates to success is money, right? I'm more looking at it from, like I said, the longevity of it. How do you withstand the competition? Because a lot of places, when competition comes around, they either fold or they step their game up, right? So for me, I look at KFC. Since Chick-fil-A became prominent, you notice KFC kind of dropped down a little bit, right? I'm just waiting for KFC to come out and say they're gonna start selling burgers in a minute.
now let me tell you something. I'm a food guy. KFC is not. It's gonna sound crazy. KFC is not far off if you're getting the chicken nuggets from Chick-fil-A. It's
No,
not
the
far
chicken
off.
nuggets is dope. Chicken nuggets is dope. Yeah,
Okay, all right. See, I told you I'm a food guy, and their fries are ridiculously good. Have you
but
had KFC fries?
100%. But I'm
Oh
gonna tell
my
you
god.
why KFC is gonna go down. and why they're not going to be around much longer. You cannot beat the customer service of Chick-fil-A. Bro, if Chick-fil-A closed tomorrow, they literally can start a business teaching other establishments about customer service. Think about the worst experience you've had.
Real quick, I understand exactly what you're talking about when it comes to Chick-fil-A. And I can talk to you before, quick sidebar, I can talk to you about food, it seems, because if you would have tried to shun me on the fact that KFC chicken nuggets aren't good, I would have just left the conversation alone and be like, all right.
Oh,
you know,
no.
But to your point with the Chick-fil-A.
And the chicken pot pie?
Oh, see, now since you said that, since you agreed with the nuggets, I'm gonna have to try the chicken pot pie because the chicken sandwich is good. The chicken sandwich is good that they had. Like everybody else was having a chicken sandwich. See, and that's what I'm saying. It's on par a little bit.
I have not tried Popeye's chicken sandwich, so I'm very ignorant to that, and I refuse to try Popeye's chicken sandwich. And again, it goes back to my bias, right? When it became too popular,
it's good, bro.
It was really,
yeah, it's good.
I'm gonna have to take your word for it.
It's good.
But was it worth standing in a line for 3 hours?
Yep, it's good. I gotta say, it's good. Yep, it's good. It's not, yeah. It's not. That's no BS. It's good. You know, it has like a honey bun. It's like the bun is like honey, and the oh man, it's a big thick piece of crispy chicken with the pickle to offset it a little bit too. Nice sauce, and the bun, the buttery bun that's honey like that. Yeah.
In the words of my kids, this is a big back conversation.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? It's so good that I never got a chance to try the fish sandwich that looks like it. I can bet the fish sandwich must be good like it. That's how good the chicken sandwich is. If they make it the same way with the same bread, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Yeah, but to your point, when you were talking about the Chick-fil-A, they have the correct business model. But when I'm noticing, and I was actually in where was I? I would say I was up. I don't know what part of Jersey it was. I had to go to like a special trick-or-treating spot for my son. So we went to like a special trick-or-treating spot somewhere far up Jersey and Whiteville somewhere. It was nice. It was a nice area. And I was
in Whiteville.
I don't know, bro. I just said that. I don't even know if that's a thing, but check it out.
Right.
I was
at a very prominent part of New Jersey.
I was at a Chick-fil-A, and the customer service, the idea was great, but the person that was doing it was terrible. And I saw that on 2 different occasions. And I like seeing these kids working. Yeah, I do like seeing these kids working. I do. But the idea is right. But what happened is, and you probably noticed this too, the interpersonal part about it is real mechanic. Meaning, like back in the day, since we didn't have like cell phones like that, you know, the social media, like we're more personable people. We can talk a little bit more. Like it seems more genuine. With them, they seem like robotic a little bit. And if they're not, you know, if they're not with it all the way, it can seem kind of like, oh man, you know, it's drag. Like for instance, I didn't know that there was no menu. The one I went to, I didn't see a menu. So she asked me what I want. I'm like, oh snap. I just thought about this. Where's the menu?
Oh, you're one of those people.
Yeah, I'm like,
I want to kick you in the back of your head. You're one of those people. Oh, you're the guy that stands in line, wait till you get to the register, and then wants to look at the menu.
No, I'm not. Hold on, let me go.
I have my cell phone in my hand, and I could have looked. First of all, you knew where you were going before you got there. Why is it? Since the dawn of time, since you've been going to Chick-fil-A, has the menu ever changed?
Listen to me.
Has the menu ever changed, sir?
Here's the thing. I don't know. And okay. But look, here's the thing. You
are the dude that goes there and orders the same thing every. No. We're gonna pause that conversation for me.
No, you're definitely taking it out of context.
Hold on. No. You're the dude that goes to Chick-fil-A and orders the same thing all the time, right? Only you need to look important, so you do this. Let me see what I want today. Knowing that you're gonna, bro, I want to kick you in the back of your head. No. Absolutely no. I'm gonna mute you right now. I'm gonna mute you right now. Hold on. Let me talk to these people. This is the guy, right? This is the guy that wants to speak to the manager when the person at the register gets mad because there's 300 people behind him, and he wants to start the show right now and goes, What's on your menu today? What's on special, bro? Rob, order your chicken sandwich and your nuggets and go.
Look, okay, right, that's the thing. If that were true, I get it. I get you. But hear me out. This is the real part of it.
Okay.
I just want to see the menu because, see, I didn't get a chance to get my chicken nuggets because I was rushed. And when she showed me, I got something I didn't like too much, and the chicken wasn't even finished. And I was one of the first people there. I'm like, damn, chicken is not the best. I looked at it, I'm like, this is a bad experience. One of my bad experiences at Chick-fil-A, the waffle fries are still great. Those get eaten
Always.
on the way home.
As long as
They
they're
don't make
hot.
it home.
As
Yeah, they
long as
don't
they're
make it
hot.
home. They don't make it home. But look,
If they
I'm the
make it
guy in
home, it
line.
tastes like cardboard.
When you're in line, I've never been in line in Chick-fil-A, but I can imagine there's a menu like every other fast food place, like right there in front of you, right? The big one behind the cashiers. There's probably one of those, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like the TVs are flat.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
sometimes I'm definitely want to get my chicken nuggets, but I want to, if there's like a new chicken sandwich or something, I want to look at it. Like, what kind of new chicken sandwich? Like, what's that going on? You know, maybe you got something a little different. That's all. That's all. That's all. When you go to Wendy's, the menu's right there. The Wendy's right there.
May I ask you
And
a question?
Wendy's stepped it up. If you can get it the right one with those saucy nugs, but you got to make sure they just finished like doing them and throw the sauce on them. And their chicken sandwich, spicy chicken sandwich, is pretty good.
I want to talk to you like I would talk to my grandmother. Can I ask you a question? Is there a reason why you don't use your cell phone that allows you to order on the app and you can go in and pick it up and never have any human interaction?
I don't like that.
And ladies and gentlemen, proving my point. You see what I mean? He wants to be the star of the show. He wants to hold up the line. He wants to go there. And even though we know he's going to order a chicken sandwich and nuggets, he wants to go in there now and go, I wonder what I want today.
Yo, you know, when I go to Dunkin' Donuts, I see them rushing me. When I got up to the menu today, I said, she said everything I wanted. I was like, yep. And when I got to there, I thought it was because she knew everything I wanted. I thought like, all right, now I definitely got to make sure I say hi to the young lady that knew everything I wanted. She didn't give a damn about the hi. It was just like, you know, I'm used to this. I was like, oh damn, I guess this is the way things are. I thought it was like a thing, like, oh, I know this, I understand this vehicle, I know this vehicle. Oh man, yeah, I like things to be more like personable. I like that.
Let's talk about what normally happens in certain areas, right? Guys go to these fast food restaurants to flirt with the girls that work there to do what? Get free fries.
To get free fries.
Nobody is the man in the hood more than the dude who knows the girl that works at McDonald's or Wendy's, and you can pull through and you know you're gonna get an extra order of fries. You flirt with her, she worked there, you're getting some free food, right? Bro, we are now in a time where they're time. First of all, they've been timed. You're on a timer. Don't nobody want to hear your sob story. Don't nobody want you to pull up to their menu and go, I wonder, because you knew what you wanted when you pulled out from your house and you said, I'm headed to McDonald's. You already knew you was going to get that Egg McMuffin or whatever it is that you eat with the hash brown, right? And you, first of all, you know it comes in a combo. So now you're just going to ask for it. Instead, you want to go there again and watch all the cars behind you and wait for somebody to blow the horn so you can be like, who you blowing the horn at? And move.
Hey, look.
In the words of Ludacris, move, B, get out the way.
I had a guy, I go there so much, I had a guy tell me, like, dang, man, you spend $5 a day on this? I was like, oh, I felt guilty, but I took it. I'm like, damn, man.
He did the math.
No, I refuse to do the math, man. I refuse to do the math. It's like
$5 a day, $35 a week.
Yeah, no, he was doing the math. Yeah, he was doing that. He was doing that. The cashier there. I'm thinking like this should be a write-up right here. Come on, man.
Are you turning business away, sir?
Right. Like what kind of what's this when they start doing this? Look, think about how good the business is for Dunkin' Donuts. They telling people you don't even need this.
You don't need this, sir. Do you know you can make coffee at your own house?
Yeah, that's kind of what it was. I'm like, wow, man, damn. I'm like, damn, man. It's like that. I thought we was cool.
The cashier probably likes how you look, and he likes the cashier, so he don't want you to come back there.
Could be a possibility.
See?
I've seen weird things like this happen. That could be
He's
a
like,
possibility.
Sarah, why do you keep looking at that guy in the black truck? He's like, he has muscles, and he over there like struggling to pick up the bag of French fries or hash browns. He's like, he's struggling. Here comes this guy.
Speaking of French fries and hash browns, check this out. I'm gonna start off the second segment with that. Let me stop and go. Let me stop real quick.
This segment is sponsored by Dunkin'. America runs on Dunkin'.
Imagine, yeah, because I'm about to say something really good about Dunkin' Donuts, as a matter of fact.
America runs on.
The egg and brisket scramble that they have.
I don't eat eggs. I don't eat eggs.
Oh man. Well, I think you can. I think you can get it without eggs. But last time I
I don't
asked,
eat beef.
you don't eat beef.
I don't eat meat. Yeah, I don't eat red meat.
Oh, okay, okay. You don't eat red meat. All right, cool, cool, cool. So you just fish.
Yeah.
Fish. Okay. All right,
They
cool,
don't
cool.
serve fish at Dunkin' Donuts, and if they did,
No,
I
they
still
don't.
wouldn't eat it anyway.
They would not. They would.
So.
Yeah, that would not be good. That would not be good. I can't imagine that.
I
That'd
think
be like the cafeteria
I,
fish from back in the day,
I think it'll be the equivalent of White Castle fish.
which I love. But yeah, that flanco fish,
Bruh,
that panko fish, panko
no.
fish. I love
You
it.
like White Castle fish?
I love White Castle. Period. White
Bruh,
Castle doesn't miss. You don't eat eggs, so you don't know about their breakfast sandwiches. They're off the hook.
nah,
They crack the egg for real.
so
Yeah,
good, bro.
White
Nope.
Castle's off the hook. White Castle's all the way. You never
Egg
had
is
you
just
don't eat White Castles?
egg is a
Oh,
weird
you don't eat meat.
food.
You don't eat meat. Say what?
Egg is a weird food just as it is. You know what an egg is?
What is an egg?
It's gross, yo.
He said it's gross, bro.
Bro, the yellow part, then the white part, and nah, bro.
That's why for breakfast I boil like 3 eggs, have some bacon, some
Bro,
toast.
it's an
Excellent.
unborn chicken.
Say it again. It's an
It's
unborn
an
chicken.
unborn chicken.
Mm.
You're eating like the embryo and the business.
You know, I'm not gonna. I wouldn't. You know, I'll be lying to you if I said that. You know, I don't think about it sometime while I'm eating it. But then, you know, if I think about all of the things that I eat, it'd be kind of weird. So I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, I don't think we could get into that on this podcast.
Well, the thing is, let me hold on. Let me ask the boss. Let me ask the boss. What do you think? Yeah, they said, you know,
like, honey, what do you think?
they said this is, you know, just go ahead and flow with it. But yeah, I didn't even mean anything by that. See, that's where your head is. Did we talk about the no homo thing? I did not. I talked about that. I think I talked about that the other day.
I don't think that's a thing though. That's not a thing between grown men. No, that's not a thing.
That's not a thing, right?
No. That's a juvenile thing, but I mean that's not something that I would participate in. Not on a serious level either. Like maybe, you know, if I'm just joking around or something, but definitely not on a. I've seen people take that whole thing to a different level. Like they've taken it to work with them, and you're looking at them like, what's wrong with you? I don't think you should be saying that to your boss.
That's only a cultural thing.
Yeah, because I don't see certain people doing that. I don't think certain people are in the realm of accidentally saying that and at work or anywhere. Actually, I think they're a little bit more fluid. Like they do things where you look at them like, yo, y'all good? Oh no, this is just my buddy, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, why is your hand in his pocket? Are you are you okay? Like, oh, we just play like this. Like, oh.
Yeah.
Minorities walk past each other, your shoulders bump, like, hey, whoa, no homo, man.
I thought white people were like a clean bill of health until one time I saw one of my boss, a white guy, he was scratching his feet before I came to the office, and I caught him. I was walking in, I was like, oh, well, he wasn't scratching his feet, but he was scratching the area, you know, by his sock where it gets because your sock's too tight. I still just thought, nah, you shouldn't be doing that.
Did he try to shake your hands afterwards?
Yeah, that's the problem.
Oh, bro. All right, wait. Are you recording?
Of course, I'm recording, man.
All right, so I got a crazy story for you, right? So I'm at work one day, and I go into the restroom, and do you know those dryers on the wall?
Yeah.
All right, so I go into the bathroom, and a guy at work is literally face down, ass up to the dryer, and I walk in. And it was it was the weirdest thing in the world because he looks up when the door opens, right? And we literally we lock eyes. And it was one of those, you know how you got to go to the bathroom real bad? And you see some weird stuff like that. And it was like, yeah, I don't got to go to the bathroom no more. I'm pretty good. I think I'm done.
Was he was he homeless?
No, bro.
Like homeless thing.
He worked there.
He worked there.
Apparently he had gone to the bathroom wiped himself. I don't know what happened or why he felt the need to dry his butthole, but he literally just like he literally just like looped his asshole up towards the blower and he just turned it on. So it's like and he heard the door open. So just imagine his head is all the way down here, right? And he
Yeah.
looked up like and we just locked eyes. And it was kind of one of those like unspoken things like maybe I need to go find a different bathroom.
Did he stop? Did he stop?
Did he stop the dryer from blowing in his ass? No. No.
Oh man, yo.
Did I leave? Yes.
Yeah.
And the crazy part is the first person I called, right? I called my mom. And I'm like, yo, you're not gonna believe what I just saw, right? And my mother, I swear to you, my mother's first thing was, do not post this on the internet. Whatever you do, don't post it on the internet.
Where were you? Were you in New York?
I'm sorry, what now?
Were you in New York?
No, I was in New Jersey.
You was in New Jersey? What town? What was his nationality? That's the thing.
He was Caucasian. He was of the Caucasian persuasion.
It seemed like a white thing. You know,
I don't know if we have. I don't know if there's such a thing as
that's a white thing,
right?
That's a white thing. So? If you're going to catch somebody doing something like that, that's a white thing.
Really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I don't know.
Now, if you walked in and somebody was trying to steal that machine off the wall, that'd be a different person thing. So that's different.
Right.
That's different. Right. That's different. If you walked in, you saw somebody trying to take the soap dispensers and put them in their pocket. You know what I mean? So we know. So yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I'm not. I don't think I'm prejudiced against anything. I'm a capitalist. I like making money. So I'm not prejudiced. I'm not racist. None of those things. So I like to talk about everybody. I like creating like a Family Guy environment. I love Family Guy. I like creating a Family Guy environment. That's all.
I thought you were muting that.
Oh, that's my fantasy football thing. That's reminding me how good I am. Yeah, exactly. That's what, that's the exact person I was thinking too.
And
like, he'd be like,
all right, we're moving on. We're moving on. We didn't come here with that. How did you do that?
Yo, this ninja done stole a damn dryer off the wall. You see, I told you I'm refraining from using the N-word. See, I don't even use the N-word. You see how I did that?
All right, we're moving on.
We're moving right on.
All right, let's go.
Yeah. So
all right.
Yeah, that was really
great.
Yeah,
that was great.
I don't
again, this segment was sponsored by Dunkin'.
Dunkin' Donuts.
America runs on it's not Dunkin' Donuts anymore. It's just Dunkin'. America runs on Dunkin'.
Oh. Dunkin' could see this and be like, nah, they said asshole. There's no way in hell. There's no way in hell that we're gonna be doing this. There's no way in hell.
Oh man.
But yeah, I just want to create that type of environment because look,
I needed that laugh. I needed that.
The last thing you want to do is have something be really, really great, and you did an episode of something that's not really you. You're like, damn, they like that episode. I was being soft because of the time. It was a bad time. I know the times right now. I just had a little soft episode for the people I wanted to pander to for 2 seconds. Damn, that's not me. That's not me.
I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy.
I want to make stuff up. I want to, No. I want to be the guy in the podcast where somebody says, now here you got a guy, he's an intelligent guy. Look, they're going to be looking dead serious. Like, here you got an intelligent guy, has all that time, and he's going to use it to just have these bullshit conversations like this.
Say this dumb shit.
Just say this stuff. See, do you see this stuff? Do you see this? This is why I watch it every time. You heard me? Look, this is why I watch it every time it comes on.
Because he's going to say some dumb shit. Like, can I ask all the Giant and Cowboy fans, right?
Ooh.
When you guys were watching the game on Thanksgiving, why were we cheering? Like, who wanted to be the best of the worst? So when I see all the Cowboy fans like, oh my God, we won, I was like, what did you win? It was two horrible teams that was playing to see who was the least worst. I don't get it. Like, what was the point of that game?
It's like I was watching the game because it was just there. I wasn't even like paying attention
at all
Yeah, a matter
because
of
it didn't
fact.
matter.
Yeah, yeah,
What was
yeah,
what would the outcome have mattered?
yeah. Not at
And
all.
then I have a coworker that was like, "Yo, yeah, because now that the Cowboys won, he was like, I got a couple of people that's talking about us making it to the playoffs." I said, "Even if you did, though, what are you going to do there?
Yeah, yeah. No, 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 no.
Because if you're going up against these other teams who are like on point, what exactly are you going to do other than take the spot away from somebody who could possibly win?"
Right, and then work on getting a high draft pick or something like that. I'm not saying tank the season, but try some new stuff out the rest of the season. You already aren't that good. Try new stuff out. Put in some
Or
backups, give other people a chance. Yeah,
get rid of that quarterback, just like
I
we
like
had to
Dak
get rid of
Prescott.
ours.
I like Dak Prescott. I take up for light skinned guys. I'll take up for light skinned guys. There's not many people out there that there's not many people out there that take up for light skinned guys. I noticed that.
Well, y'all went out of season though. Like y'all started doing crazy stuff, man.
Well, speaking of that brings that thing. What's going on with Drake and Kendrick Lamar and what's happening? Drake
I
is
believe
light
Drake
skinned, right?
is suing
Drake
somebody
white.
or
No,
something.
Drake's white. Drake's white.
No, he's light skinned.
Nah, he's white.
Definitely light skinned. He's definitely light skinned.
Okay, Drake's.
He has light skinned behavior too. That's the crazy part.
Yeah.
Like, you want to know what's crazy? I used to think like there wasn't a difference, right?
Mhm.
And I've honestly seen light skinned behavior from light skinned dudes, right? Where it just makes me wonder, like, yo, is this really a thing? Like,
See, this is what I'm talking about. What is light skinned behavior? Putting a pillow between your legs while you're in your home comfortable. I heard everybody does that. Somebody told me everybody does that. I thought it was just me.
Oh man, light skin behavior is going to Starbucks and ordering a venti macchiato with 6 pumps of vanilla and green.
Okay. You know the crazy thing is when you said venti, I was like, I do venti something because I didn't even know what that meant before. Until I got to Starbucks, I didn't know what it meant. I'm like, give me a large. You're like, what?
No, you gotta get a venti.
Yeah, venti. Yeah. But my thing was strawberry acai.
See, light skin behavior is wearing Uggs. Okay. Wearing those women Uggs as a man and thinking that it light skin behavior is having that a fall closet. Like you have a fall. You do. Closet. I know you do.
No.
I know you do.
I keep it simple. Yeah,
bro. I know you do. You're one of them dudes that when you going out, you have like a whole fall wardrobe, right? You even have like that scarf that goes around here, you try to act like you're one of those dudes that like you try hard and then at the end you come outside and act like you don't know what everybody's talking about. Like, what do you mean? Oh, these?
Oh no. That's not me. That's not me.
These?
No.
I'm this like Louis Vuitton shirt. No, it was in the back of my closet.
I'm like an action figure with the same clothes, like the same like maybe 20 things. Then I just rotate those 20 things for like 2 years, and then I decide to get new clothes.
Let's see if we have Ronald pegged, right? Ronald has what looks like a basic white button-up shirt. Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. The reason why it's not basic though, it's one of those like top high-end shirts, right? But he's gonna act like it's a Walmart or a Target shirt, right? He's gonna wear it to where it buttons to right here, right? No undershirt or wife beater.
Wife beater.
Right. Okay. Boom. He got the wife beater. Right. He got the jeans. Right. But again, the jeans like the shirt is one of those high end jeans.
No. Levi's 511 Levi's. 511 Levi's.
Okay. Let's give him the 511 Levi's. But you definitely got the belt.
No belt. Like nice and simple. But you had it right with the shirt. The shirt is nice. I like to have nice shirts, but
and everything else rolled up to like right here. When it gets hot in the club, it gets rolled up to here.
You know what?
And I'm gonna tell you why. Because you have a sleeve, and you kind of want to show the sleeve without showing the sleeve. Because here's what you do, right? You're one of those dudes that when people ask you about it, you act like you're annoyed while giving them the explanation. Like,
actually, let me tell you. No. I tell you the deal. I actually like the element of surprise with the tattoos. Let me tell you. I like the element of surprise.
Did you just fake show it off without showing it off, though?
No, not at all. It comes. But I like the element of surprise of tattoos. So I would have it rolled down, usually rolled down. I kind of like looking like a Poindexter. So that's kind of like my thing, like to be like
until the bottles start coming out.
It's like
until the bottle girl comes out, and then you roll the sleeve up, and then
I like having a Clark Kent Superman kind of thing going on. Like, I'm just like,
that's when you take off the fake glasses that have no prescriptions in them and you put them in your pocket.
You sound like my brother. He's like, yeah, yo, let me see what you're gonna have on today. Is it gonna be the glasses? Gonna go geek mode? He says when I have the scarf on, it like you Survivor. Like, what are you doing?
Wait, you have on a scarf like a common Erykah Badu type of thing going on?
No. What happens is if the sides of my hair grow out too much and I just don't feel like getting the cut, then I just put the scarf on just to cover up the front.
There goes the light skin right there. There goes the light skin right there.
You know what's crazy? I'll give you that.
There's the light skin right there.
I'll give you that one. The other ones, I know dark skin guys that do the same thing. And that's why I was talking about the pillow thing, putting pillow between their legs because it's comfortable. Bruh, nobody wants the knees to touch.
That is putting a pillow. What are you talking about right now?
If you lay on your side, your knees can't touch.
What's happening right now? What?
You never.
What are you giving birth? What do you mean your knees can't touch?
You never laid on your side. You never laid on your side and watched TV
with a pillow between my legs? No, right. Bro. What is happening right now?
What?
What else do you do? Okay, so wait a minute, because this is what this sounds like to me, right? You sound like one of the dudes that's gonna be like, well, I get home and I put on my comfiest PJs and I put on some chamomile tea and I lay down. I light some candles and I lay down. I put a pillow in between my legs and I watch Hallmark.
No, I don't really watch much television. I don't. But sometimes.
Oh, you curl up with a good book?
What's wrong with that? But my knees can't touch. If I'm sitting on my back reading, I'm cool. But if I'm sideways, my knees can't touch. Your knees are not supposed to touch. Your knees can't touch. That's not good for your hips. Look it up. That's not good for your hips. You don't want your knees to touch. That's all. I'm just separating my knees from each other. That's all. So like I said, I thought that was just light skin behavior, but somebody told me all guys do that.
Who told you that?
A friend of mine told me all guys do that.
Is he light skin too?
Is he light skin?
Was this at the light skin meeting that you guys had?
Okay.
You guys make each other feel better? Was this at this at the nail salon while you guys are having your mani-pedis? Did you guys go, your knees aren't supposed to touch?
These are supposed to touch. Hey, look, okay, I'll give you that. You caught me. You did catch me. That's one of the rare times I get caught out there. Like you actually justify your whole light skin behavior thing only because of the whole headband thing. And I caught myself when I was like, oh man, he got me. But the other stuff you said, I know other people that do that, man. That's just getting comfortable. Getting comfortable.
Come home and put on your comfortable PJs and light some candles and drink some chamomile tea.
I actually want to get a really nice, a really nice bathrobe. No, that's not a bathrobe. What's it called? What is it called?
What are you, Hugh Hefner?
Yeah, I want to get one of those. Yeah, I want to get those. Is that a night robe?
No, it's light skin. That's what it is. It's light skin. His behavior is light skin. It's entirely too light skin.
I'm gonna come on a podcast with one of those on, like, and some tea,
like smoking jacket,
and some tea.
Jacket.
Yeah. Matter of fact, speaking of smoking, I was around individuals that smoke cigar. I felt cool as hell. I don't smoke cigars, but that got to be the coolest looking thing that I've ever seen. Smoking cigars. Smoke a cigar with a drink. I'm like, man, I look so cool.
I always thought it did look cool. My only issue is, right, I always see the people that try it the first time and they start coughing their lungs out.
Yeah, I don't try it. Yeah.
And then I can't do the liquor thing, right? Because I always see people say like scotch and whiskey are so smooth, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm the dude that when I smell like, that shit smells strong. And I was like, damn, how do you consume that, right?
Yeah.
So you see them two big ice cubes in there and they're like,
yeah.
I always wanted, so confession, like I've always wanted to have one of those meetings where we're just sitting there and I have this glass in my hand and it's like, whiskey or whatever the case is. And I'm having like this real, like, multi-million-dollar conversation, right? And at the end, we kind of just clink our glasses and, it's like, we don't sign no contracts or nothing. We just clink our glasses and that's our, like, we're good.
Yeah. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
You see how dark skinned I was, right? As men, we clink our glasses, right? And at no point in time, right, were we sitting on a we weren't sitting on a floor of pillows where we put a pillow in between our knees so they don't touch, and we didn't drink chamomile tea.
Maybe that's just my thing.
we didn't do this as we were drinking, right? We
Yeah.
didn't put our pinkies up there.
No. But I saw it and I thought that I was like, man, this is a cool look right here. It's
But
not my
I
thing.
think the thing is like the ash is supposed to stay on the cigar for as long as possible. Like you're supposed to see how long you can keep the ash on there, and like as you're smoking, like I thought you were supposed to flick it off or something, but you're supposed to
Right.
keep it on there. And there's different rules to it, so you can't light it with a lighter or like a regular lighter. You got to have that gas lighter, and like there's
Yeah.
a whole community
Yeah.
behind that thing.
I was thinking you get like what a certain amount for like $700. I like $700. I'm like, whoa, for 26 or whatever it was, something like that. I was like, whoa. I can imagine if a blunt cost that much. I'm like, whoa, like what? Can you imagine? Like, but yeah,
You
I'm
said a
more of a
blunt.
one or two drinks and I stayed to myself and just like let all of the crazy thoughts come to my head and kind of like just break down those thoughts. I like doing that. I don't have to be necessarily around a lot of people and stuff like that. But it's still cool. I actually enjoy it though sometimes.
I think
If
the
if I want to
closest.
be there, like if I want to be there, like I'm actually looking for a good social spot to go to and just have a drink and it's just people there talking and just having a good time. Intelligent
Is
people.
it is there any good social spots like that now? Because I feel like people walk around with these like portable hookahs, and you can't get away from it. Like hookahs are like the modern day herpes now. Like everybody has this hookah thing that they're walking around with. It's like a portable hookah in their
Yeah,
car, hookah everywhere.
I'm
Like
not a fan of
it
that.
can't be that good.
I'm not a
Like why
fan.
are you guys walking around with hookahs that much? Like
Yeah,
hookah here, hookah over here, hookah this, hookah. Like what's wrong with you?
that's a good question. Like, yeah, I do see a lot of these hookah spots coming up, but I'm just talking about. I just want a spot where people just are talking, having a drink, and just having a good time, and you just want to go back there again because the conversation was so good. Like, damn, this was so good, man. I want to go back there again. There's a lot of intelligent people there talking a lot of shit, and it's just fun to hear them speak. I don't know if they have like places like that around too much. Where
So
that's the thing where you're going there to hear some good conversation. You got to
I
create
used
that atmosphere.
I used to feel that way about like the barbershop, right? And I've definitely stopped going to what you would consider to be um like a black barber, right? I started going to the Dominican spot, and what I've noticed is when it first started to now, I don't even like the experience there because it's almost like every barbershop is the same, right? You go there on a particular day and the music is blasting. You can't have a conversation. You can't talk to the barber because the music is like booming to the point that you can't even enjoy it, right? I can't enjoy the music or I don't enjoy the music in barbershops because I don't understand it, right? And they don't necessarily like play Spanish music, hip hop, or Spanish music in any particular genre. They just play Spanish music all day. And the barbershop I go to, I guess my barber is like really into Christianity. So for the most part, it's like a whole bunch of Spanish gospel songs,
Mm.
right? So it's hard, and I think anywhere that you're going, it's really hard for you to kind of put all of that into context because people don't know that part of the art of conversation is being able to hear each other and to be able to have that back and forth. So when you go somewhere, you're gonna have that like blasting music, right? People feel like everything has to be a club, right? And I do want to go out and converse with the person, right? You can't do that in a movie theater. You're not gonna be able to do that anywhere else, right? Even I think like going to like Cheesecake Factory, sometimes depending on where they sit you, like especially if the speaker's right over your head, it's blasting, right? So you hear like Megan Trainor or some like mall music blasting over your head, and it's like again, you can't have a decent conversation, or you got to lean in to hear what the person's saying to you, as opposed to like what you're saying. Like I can imagine a room like where you're in now. It's it's dark, but not too dark to where like it's pitch black, but we can kind of sit across from each other, right? The music is low enough to where I can enjoy the instrumental portion of it, right? But I don't want to hear the bass while I'm trying to talk. Like it's crazy,
Right.
right? And I don't want the constant interruptions of, "Are you guys okay? Do you need to order anything else? Do you need me to bring you your bill? Is it a separate bill? Like, I just want you to kind of, like you said, let me just kind of go back there, chill out, and just enjoy myself.
To not to cut you off, but I just thought about it. It can happen, but now as you're saying it, I was drawing this mental map in my head. I'm like, this is actually dope. You have to, and it's not to be facetious or anything. You have to wear a collared shirt, and you have to have like business attire on, even if you're not a business person, just to go in there. It just creates the better. That makes it this makes it better, and that's the place where
I,
business people go.
yeah, and that's the thing. Well, see, I don't want people to mistake what business is, right? Like, we're now at a point where the guy that does construction does this,
Fair
right?
enough.
The guy that So I want you to be able to come in and enjoy yourself, right? I do think that, of course, you can't come in there fresh off the work site with mud and um, cement on your clothes,
Right.
right? But yeah, I don't want you to dress in a particular manner. I want you to act a certain way, right? I don't want that loud, annoying, um, you also not knowing how to use your inside you
Sorry
not
about
knowing
that.
how to use your inside voice, right?
Mm.
And your inside voice being that, somebody should be able to be next to you and have a conversation without us having to hear it. I don't want you in there on your phone watching YouTube or Instagram and everybody has to hear the videos that you're watching, or you're on a FaceTime call while you're here. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, I kind of want that vibe where we're all just enjoying ourselves, right? And we can equally enjoy ourselves without having to force our way onto other people. Like, I don't want anybody in your conversation. You shouldn't be in mine. We should be able to leave out of there. And I think that one rule should be, like, what happens here kind of stays here. So I don't want to be making a business deal or talking to somebody
Yeah,
about
it's not
business, and then you decide that you're gonna leave from here and be like, yo, I just heard that these two dudes, they
you
about
have
to
to
open this spot.
you have to say no Diddy every time you say stuff like that though now.
Oh, okay, yeah. All
Because
right,
you
no,
said,
no Diddy.
I don't know what happens here stays here. What happens here stays here. Right? What's said here stays here. But I get what you're saying. But how would you create that environment? Like, is that a place where women would go?
Everybody would go. Everybody would go to it.
No women
And
allowed. It's like, no, I'm just,
no,
I know,
nah,
but
no
but
Diddy.
no, and it's the thing. No, I don't, I don't really want women to be allowed, because what I'm talking
Why
about is
not?
more like, what I'm talking about is more like a place where men could go to listen to other men who are in situations that they're in, and or have been in situations that they're in and found a way to be successful, to hear them speak.
So you want to have a men's meeting?
That's what it seems like. Yeah, that's what it seems like, because you know, I guess when you look at the typical business guy, they look like all different type of people, like you said, and to have those different people talk, and to hear those people who are actually successful speak, I think that'd be interesting for people to go, and it long have some drinks, but this atmosphere is just crazy. This is just me talking craziness, but I just feel
I,
like you can create like a
I
group
want to
of
be around
people.
all types of success. Though. I want to be around female success,
I'm
right?
not,
I want to be
but this
around.
is not
I
for
want to be,
females.
but
It's
I'm
not for
saying just for
females,
me. I want
because
to be
here's the
around
thing.
female success.
There's no problem. But the problem is, I want the guys there for the knowledge, not for the females. Because it's nothing wrong with the females, but if the females are there, guys are gonna come for the females. I get that, but this is different. This is something that this is utopia for me. Utopian. This is not for real. This is nothing. This will never be. This
Well,
will never happen.
you sound all right. So basically, what Ronald is talking about is Ray's Boom Boom Room from the movie Life, right? Where he's talking about this club that he's made in his mind and how perfect it is, right? So Ella Fitzgerald is on the stage. This person is doing this. That person is doing that. And in my utopia, right, it's still a female group, right? Because I think a lot of where we've gone wrong, right? And forgive me for going deep into this, but I think where we've gone wrong is that I think at times we've ignored our women, right? Especially our women leaders, just simply off the fact that she doesn't have a penis, right?
Pause. You were talking about women having a penis.
No, no, no did it. um, um, no, I was saying that I think yes, I think we've ignored uh, a particular time in our lives where women are ignored for their leadership abilities and their success ratio simply because they're not men, right? When we think about the people who have made significant strides in our history, meaning, minorities of African American history, right? A lot of these people are female, right? And these women are they've made strides, but it's almost like we talk about it as if it was nothing, right?
Oh
So
no, nobody's
when we
dismissing
talk
the
about
women.
when
The
we
men
talk
need
about
to be stronger though.
when we talk about Nat Turner, right? We breeze past the Sojourner Truth of the world, right? When we talk about slave revolutions and we breeze past the Harriet Tubmans of the world, right? But think about it. When they talk about who freed the most people, who was it? A female. So when I'm saying I want to be around success, I'm saying I want to be around that female because they see things a little bit different than we do, right? Because a lot of times in our area, what we deem to be success means that it comes from a Caucasian person.
Well, but look, this is what I'm saying. I'm leaving the females out of it. This is just a place for men to go,
Do
or
what
men would
though?
want to go.
What does having a sword party help do? what what entices you? Like, okay, let me put it in a different way for you, right? I put down on paper, like, hey, Ronald, here's this
Men
room where
need
it's
help.
just men, right? It's all men. There's no women here at all. So it's all men. Who does this sound like it's enticing to? Be
I,
honest.
I get what you're saying.
Ronald, here's a room filled with all men.
Yeah.
And men are going to be talking and they're going to be drinking. And there's no women allowed at all.
Yeah, this is not where. This is not the.
Right.
This is not the
Right.
place that I was thinking.
Nah,
Let me
bro.
tell you
I
what I
don't
was
want to be
thinking. Let
there.
me tell you what I was thinking in my utopia.
Nah, I want to be there.
Like,
I'm good.
let me tell you what it goes like. It's like, let's say the guy's name is Eric. Like, oh man, Eric is speaking Friday night at the pool hall or whatever. And like, oh yeah, true. Yeah, he's what you call it. He spoke last night for, it's about an hour and a half they speak. And men go there because this is a man helping other men try to, get like he is or understand finances or teach people. He's teaching. Basically, he's teaching. Yeah, I know it doesn't make any sense. I get it. Trust me, I get it.
I'm waiting on the part where
I'm
it
gonna
makes
create
sense
my
that there's
own
no
crew.
women around.
I'm gonna create my own crew. I'm gonna buy my own spot. And I'm gonna have my own spot where I'm gonna have about like 10 or 15 guys come there. We're gonna have we're gonna have drinks. We're gonna have drinks. We're gonna have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna be bettering each other.
Let me talk to you real quick right here. You guys just hold on one second. Can you hear me? They can't hear me, but you can hear me. Can you hear me? That spot was already created. It was in Irvington, and it was called Club Cayenne.
Club Cayenne. No.
Wait. Listen. Wait. I'm trying to tell you some more stuff, right? There's also a time where they get together in New York, right? Now, what they've done is, because I just want you to know that there's pioneers to what it is that you're trying to do. They have their own flags right now, right?
Okay.
And in New York, they march, right? But the only thing that they've done now is the female demographic of what you're trying to put together, they've also included them too, right?
See,
you
that's
guys
what I'm
march,
saying.
right? Hold on, wait. You guys march through the city, right? And you guys have a grand old time, right? Or you guys are happy.
Hey, look, I get where you're going. It's
right,
not possible.
Right.
It's not possible. I know it's not possible.
No. Hey, I didn't say it was. Everything is possible, and that's why I said it was there before. It was called Club Cayenne.
That's not what I'm looking to do.
Cayenne or whatever it was.
No. I'm looking to educate young men.
And entertain.
Educate young men. But like you said, it won't work. It won't
work. Like the YMCA? Like what's happening here?
It's almost like a fraternity, but not a fraternity.
So you're trying to reinvent something that's already invented. Because even fraternities have sister organizations. Like there's nowhere that you're going that doesn't want women a part of it.
Hey, bro, I'm going crazy, man. I'm thinking as you're talking, I'm like, man, people need to hear truth. That's the problem. I want truth. I want evidence,
You
empirical
want
evidence. I want truth. I want philosophy. That's what I want.
you want to reinvent the gay club. Okay, cool.
No,
We're with it. Hey, listen, I'm with you. Listen, there's no judgment here from me.
no, no,
I'm with. Go ahead.
no, but no. I just see too many people. I just don't see a lot of guys like if they are steering the ship, they're not doing a very good job, and it's tough out here, and they need guidance, and probably digital platforms and stuff like this could be for. But that's probably what I was talking about, and I know there's no way that could happen. I was just joking, just trying to just be funny, just to try to get you to say the thing
Listen,
that we just don't say,
I,
because adults don't
I'm with
say that.
you.
Adults don't
I'm with
say that.
you.
No,
Yeah, I'm.
we don't say
Yeah,
that.
no.
So
I'm
that's
with
why
you, but
I
I
was really
think
trying to get you to say that though. But
I
you get
think
what I'm
it's a
talking about with level,
I
kind
think
of
it's
what
a
I'm doing.
I think it's a great idea. Other than the exclusion of women, I think it's a great idea, and I think it's something that would be successful, right? A place that people can go to and just chill, without like when you're almost transitioning from the club, right? You still want to go out and mingle, but you don't want to be kind of tied down to the whole like younger crowd and people wanting to do foolishness, right? So you kind of want to go out almost like Cheers without you know, people getting too drunk. You want to go out, have a good time. People know when to stop drinking. They're talking, but it's not drama or nothing, right? It's just about people going out, having a good time, enjoying themselves, sharing information. So that's why I said you want to educate and entertain at the same time and leaving from there. Because what I don't want to do is see your utopia on TV that people are throwing chairs or on social media where somebody get caught up in some BS and now it turned into the drama filled place.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you don't. I didn't know people still do that stuff, man. I guess
As
it happens.
adults,
Yeah,
oh
adults.
yeah. That still
Yeah,
happens.
I think it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. I was talking. There's nothing no words or anything that anybody could say that can get me upset to have me put my hands on them because you go to jail for that. I was talking about that the other day, and it got kind of crazy. But I was like, yeah, man, there's really nothing anybody could say.
You don't think so?
Nah, there's nothing anybody could say. No word that anybody could say that could have me be like, you know what, I gotta put my hands on and do something to this person.
What if they violated like your wife or something?
What if they violated my wife and
Yeah,
with their words?
yeah. You don't think words can violate you?
No, no, no. She's built stronger than that. I'm built stronger than that, and that's crazy. Like I said, if it boils down to it, because I don't understand why people let things like that bother them, because it's like under that same pretense, you could basically say this, like, okay, um, let's say you got a lot to lose, Rob, and somebody who doesn't have as much as you to lose says something that makes you feel that you need to put your hands on them and violate them. And now you do that and you go to jail.
True.
That's the only thing for me. Like, I look at it because everybody takes everything and put it in the most extreme situation. When you said, what if somebody violates your wife? And the likelihood of that, somebody violating my wife, like verbally, I think it's not as likely as we would like to think or like we think. So that's why I'm like, nah, there's no way. There's no way. And the crazy thing is I am a little naive probably because I do also believe I'm too intelligent for some of the BS and I can like spot it right away and just be out of the situation. But words, no. If words were followed by action, then that's a different story because now you got to
So
protect yourself. You always want to protect yourself. I'm
you're
definitely
saying like if they touched her inappropriately or something like now that's different than if
yeah,
they
that's a
just said
different
something.
yeah, because now
Got it.
you can justify your actions in a court of law. You can't
Got it.
justify your action in a court of law based on words, especially if you come out with the upper hand on this whole thing. So that's why I want people to be very cautious of that because I hear some intelligent people that'll give it all away if somebody calls them the N-word. I'm like, whoa, bro, you worked your whole life to be in the situation you're in. Now that you punch this guy, knock him to the middle of the street, and the guy hit by a car and the car rolled over his leg. Now he's crippled. Now you got to go to jail for a while because of what somebody said to you. Oh man, I just don't like I don't like that. So for that reason, I'm like, yeah, words. I just don't see words being able to penetrate me enough where it's like, let me do something physical to somebody. That's nuts. Come on.
Well, I mean, so I think there's a reason why there's a defense when it comes to law where it talks about like crimes with passion, right? I think that sometimes people do snap in certain situations, and it's a little unfair to think that you're going to be able to keep your cool in all situations because sometimes you just don't know, right? A person may say something to you, and depending on the mood that you're in, what you're going through at the time, or um, anything like any number of different factors can honestly change the trajectory of what's going on that day, right? So um, I think to just think that somebody walks out their house, says the N word to you, and then you're going to react violently is one thing, but um, this person may catch you just on what's known as a bad day, right? Ronald's having a bad day, and they say something, and that's like the straw that breaks the camel's back, and you react in a particular way that you don't want to. But I mean, it sounds good when you say things like, oh, I would never do that, right? And I hope that you never find yourself in a situation where you lose your marbles or react in a bad way. But if it does happen, right? If it does have to happen, right? I don't want you to also make it seem like it's impossible or that people who have found themselves in that situation, they're just devoid of common sense or they can't handle their emotions.
Or morals. Because when you said one thing, you said sometimes you just don't know. I think that if you decide, because sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me, right? That's what we learn as kids, and I think that's pretty cool. Because if you stick to that and say that that's your thing, then automatically once it comes like that, that's not enough to get you engaged. And it's easy for me to say that coming from a standpoint of like you understand, like I'm not going to lose it all because somebody said something to me or said something to my wife or anything like that. That's just different. Like, why are you putting yourself? I look at myself like, okay, this situation wasn't called for. Let me avoid this situation. This is way too
Yeah,
much to lose. I don't
in the
I don't
long
feel
run.
like I don't feel like I have anything to prove to somebody who's stupid. Even if it's like I don't have to, especially for my wife or anybody, like if somebody's being stupid, I don't have to prove myself to them. Like I don't feel like there's anything to prove.
Well, on Mondays, right? You got a group of people that sit in the ESPN studios and they talk about what they would have done had they been in that situation, right? Like I said, the unfortunate part is that you don't, in that studio on a Monday where you have diagnosed or gone over that whole video 10 to 20 times and you've seen where they went wrong, where, they should have went left instead of going right and all. When you can do that, it's easy to say those things. But again, are you saying that you've never in your whole life reacted off of emotion?
No, no. It's because somebody said anything, I put my hands on them. No, there's no point.
No, 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 no. I'm saying ever in your whole life have you ever reacted off of emotion to anything? It doesn't have to be you physically assaulting somebody, but in your whole life have you ever reacted off of emotion?
But what does that have to do with what you're
A
saying?
lot, a lot. If you've reacted off of emotion, right? If you've used emotion as the catalyst for why you've done something, right? Then you can understand. You may not agree with it, but you can understand why that has happened. So in that split second, yes, while it may be in a perfect world in your Shangri-La, you should be able to sit back and say, this would make a better move than this. I should do this. I shouldn't do that. What I'm saying is that sometimes, right, emotion leads you somewhere that common sense would have pulled you from. And
Yeah,
in those situations where you did that, right, you lived with the consequences of it. But at that moment, even when you sat back in the room and you go, man, I should have known better, right? But we've all allowed our emotions to take us somewhere, whether it's been in a relationship, whether it's been career wise, right? Something has happened where we either led or made a decision based off of our emotions rather than with common sense.
I'm talking about sticks and stones. We're talking about words. If you allow a word to get you to the point where you're physical, that is just nuts. I think that's nuts.
So you're saying words
Actions,
can lead you to do
actions, actions and different things of that nature. Where you know that right there, like you said, that's the different. I'm talking about when somebody says something to you, it's enough for you to just lose it all. I think
So you're saying
that's
words
is
wouldn't lead you to do anything.
no, no.
So are
Like
we saying that only from a negative standpoint? Because what about positive words? Like when a person tells you that they love you, right? Love hasn't led you to do things that common sense would have stopped you from doing.
no, I don't think so. Explain to me. I don't think so. Because even like for me, it's all this as I advance, obviously. But these are the ways I've always felt. Like it doesn't matter either
So
way.
when you were younger and you were in when you thought you were in love, as opposed to now being older and being in love, there's not times where you think back and go, damn, that was just strictly my emotions or my feelings that I allowed to lead me rather than common sense.
Mm, no, no, I don't regret nothing
Well,
I've done.
you expect not see now you're talking about regret though. I'm not talking. I'm just saying, have you allowed your feelings to lead you? I'm not saying did you regret it, but at the end of the day, did you being in love lead you to do something that you probably wouldn't have done for somebody else? Right? Like you may have people who have co-signed for a car. Like you got a female who co-signed for a car for a dude, or the baby boy situation where you letting this dude drive your car with no license, right?
Mhm.
That girl that did that in her 20s is not going to be the same woman in her 30s or 40s that's going to make that same type of move, right? It's still acting off of emotion. So all we did was we just upped the ante and said, all right, somebody called you the N-word, would you punch them in the face? But we've all used our emotions or allowed our emotions to have us make particular decisions, right? That we can look back now and say, either I've matured, I've grown past that, I would never do that anymore, right? But we do know for a fact that there's some situations that our emotions have led us somewhere.
Nah, well, not for me. I don't want to fight anyway, so there's nothing anybody could say that could make me feel like doing something physical that I don't feel like doing anyway. There's no way. And I just think it's a matter of intelligence. I just just thinking I'm bigger than the situation. I can't even imagine and fathom it happening because it's no, not words. There's not words, not words. You can do actions, of course, that can, facilitate me to want to do something, but words staying like you hear people all the time talking about I wouldn't let nobody call me that. I'm like, you know what? Well, why not? Why
So
not? You ready to lose it all?
as far as respect is concerned, you're okay with being disrespected or kind of let's just say disrespected. Like, all right, I'll give you a perfect example. With the stance that you have now, right? Let's say that you were around during that whole like um segregation, Jim Crow era, right? So you're telling me that you're the guy that's sitting at the counter letting people throw the milkshakes on you or them spraying you with the water hose or sicking dogs on you, and you're like, let me just turn the other cheek.
No, that's not what I said. Those are physical actions right there.
Okay, so you're against the physical actions, but if they were there and they were like screaming in your face and saying and calling you the N word and all that other stuff, you're good
Then
with
if it's on my private property, no, I'm not good with that because that's private
it.
my private property.
What's the difference?
The difference is my private property that you got to get off my property. I said,
Okay, but all right. So
I
now
said to call the officials and they come move you off my property and you can go do
I'm
that.
standing at the gate. The whole clan is outside your house and they're burning crosses and they're just yelling the N word.
Again, this is your dystopian now society that you're
Yeah,
creating for me in this idea,
yeah.
and it's so far fetched that like this not even making any
So you're
sense right now. I understand
I'm
it makes sense. It makes
well,
sense as far as what you're saying, but what try to put that in today's
I'm,
context. None of those things ever happen. And okay,
well, it doesn't.
they rarely happen. And if they do happen and they're on the news, it's a reason because it's going to get clicks and likes. Because I was just about to tell you, just for
Well, when
shits
you
and
hear it
giggles,
on the news,
just look
the problem is not. It's not when you hear it on the news. It's not for shits and giggles. When you hear it on the news, it's unfortunately because somebody has perished due to it, right? So what I'm saying to you is that I think we've grown so accustomed to this whole Martin Luther King, let's turn the other cheek, violence never solves anything mentality, right? That now it's almost like we just count bodies after a while. But what I'm saying to you is, what is your breaking point? other than somebody physically putting their hands on you, right?
No, the problem is
What is your breaking point?
then the problem is no, the problem is this: the studies, like I'm all into numbers and facts. If you gave me facts and numbers, then I'll have this conversation with you. But without them, I really think that a lot of those things are blown up. They're fallacies and they're not that true. And then when you look early in the conversation, you were saying something early in the conversation. I couldn't even get into it and allude to it because I didn't have the actual stats. If I had the stats and the stats showed that, then we'll get into it. But I don't think the stats show that. So I'm one of those people who believe that it's all bullshit. I'm not gonna lie to you. I believe all of it is bullshit.
What do you think?
No white man is coming up to you saying the N-word. None of that stuff is happening. Like, black people don't have it this way. I'm under that impression that
Can
that's
I ask
not
you a
the
question?
case. Okay.
Where do you live? Where do you live?
I can't put my business, but yeah, I understand what you're saying.
No. When I say where do you live, I'm not saying I don't want your physical address, right? But I'm saying that you live in the United States, right?
Right.
So what statistical evidence do you need when the news shows you, right? What they want to show you.
The news is not.
Hold on. The news shows you what they want to show you as far as black people and their interactions with law enforcement, right? But that's just what's shown. Think about what's not shown, right? When you talk about statistics, I think one of the main things that anybody should learn about statistics, whether you took it in college or wherever, right, is that numbers can be manipulated depending on who wants to prove what.
But here you go. So that's the main argument from your side. Your side says stuff like that, and it's like, well, what evidence and what stats are we going to use? You guys don't want to use no stats. You just come up with these things that just don't make sense.
No, but there's nothing
through the evidence. It's not proven.
But
I'm actually about to buy a book right now that shows that shows the opposite. A lot of stuff that you're saying. I know what you're saying.
Let's talk about.
But this book has the stats. The stats don't show that.
Let's use what it is that you're talking about. Books.
I have to.
Right?
I have to. Like I said, I have to do the research on it. But
let's
all the evidence is
use what you're talking about. So
okay.
I'm gonna ask you to use your computer for a second, right? What is the Green Book? Other than the movie, right? What was the Green Book?
No, explain to me. Do you want the
Green Book? Yeah, but I'm saying I know what the Green Book is, right? But the Green Book was a book that black entertainers used, right? Or people who travel throughout the United States. And that book allowed black people or minorities to know places that were safe for them to go to or travel to, right? So this book lets you know that you couldn't travel to a particular state or city during a certain time as a minority, right? And now, in this day and age, we still have those things, and they're called sundown towns, right? So in New Jersey, there are sundown towns. What that means is that when the sun goes down, your black ass ain't supposed to be there. There's no statistic for that. There's nothing. There's no demographic that you're going to pull up or bars and graphs that's going to show up that's going to tell you those things.
Hey, look. Then unfortunately, I can't give an honest opinion about it if that's the case.
But
because I haven't gone to a town where I had an issue. Like I haven't gone to a town and seen this myself.
So let me tell you what you sound like right now. Hold on. Let me tell you what you sound like right now, right? What you sound like right now is there's a one-armed girl or a man that's telling you, I jumped in the ocean and I got attacked by a shark, right? And you're the guy that's going, I've swam in hundreds of times. Oh, that was me. Can you still see me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Can you still see me though?
Yeah, I see you too.
Oh, you're the guy that's going, I've swam in the ocean hundreds of times, right? And I've never seen a shark before, so that means sharks don't exist.
No, that's a great point because shark bites don't happen as often as you think they happen.
But do they happen?
Yeah, but not as often. About the frequency. The problem is you're going off of like just the quick available knowledge to you, and that's kind of being lazy. It's called heuristics. You're just going off of you hear certain things and you're going off of the quickest knowledge you got. And I get it, but I'm just saying I want to be more deliberate and see stats that show these things from somebody who is from sources that aren't biased, that's just saying the numbers or stating the numbers. When I see those things, then I can make a decision. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying a lot of times I hear a lot of stuff coming from black people that I grew up hearing talk. And it's like, man, none of that stuff's not even true. Where are the facts? Where are the stats? Where's the last time you got the stats? So that's all I'm saying. And I'm not trying to be facetious or anything, but I just don't buy into a lot of that stuff without the numbers. And I get what you're saying about the sundown towns, and I can look into that, but I haven't experienced those situations like that. So you're saying that if I'm black and I'm going to a town at what time?
I'm saying that there are towns now, right? I'm saying that even in the industry that you're in, right? Even in real estate, right? There were banks that would not give mortgages or loans to black people simply
And
because
most
of
of
their
those
race.
banks were black. Black banks turned down black people at a higher rate than white
But
banks, and that's a fact you can
here's
look
what,
at.
but
See,
here's
that's
your,
what I'm talking
but
about. Little
here,
stuff
here
like that. I got it when I got a
no,
fact.
but
But
the
hear me out.
point is the
When I got
point
a
though.
fact like that, no, hear me out.
You're
When I get a
changing it,
fact
but
like
you're
that, we
changing it
forget
to
about
make it.
that. You forget
But
about
we
that part.
don't.
That maybe the blacks
Yeah,
weren't qualified. They didn't get a loan because
but
they
I never.
weren't qualified.
But
If their
that's not
own
what.
black people, their own black banks wouldn't give them loans, so they weren't
That,
qualified. That's why. And then when
that,
people
that
came around and tried to just give people loans when they weren't qualified, that's when we had the whole housing crisis. They were called
do
ninja
you
loans.
realize?
No
Do
job,
you
no
realize that
income, no nothing.
when you stated yours, right? You said maybe, right?
Maybe what?
You said maybe they weren't qualified, right? Whereas I'm saying to you that there were people or banks, right? I never said black bank, white bank, Hispanic bank. I just said that there was a bank, right, that would not give out loans to people simply based on their race, right? So when you say, well, maybe
Why?
there's,
Why would they
most
not
of
give
those,
out loans simply because they
it
race?
doesn't, it doesn't. I just said because of their race.
No, but
I don't.
why is that? Why is that? I mean, I'm sure that okay, if
What
that would
does
have
it
happened, why is
matter
that?
if
That's
the
stupid.
race is
That's
if
dumb.
the
If you
if the
qualify,
race
I don't
is
care what race you are.
you don't, but that's why we're trying to explain to you that this is what was happening. You don't care about it, but what I'm saying to you is that it was happening.
I got to
So
see
you're
more.
saying if
I
I
got
had
to
a
see more
bank,
stats. I got to see more stats. Like I said, I got to see more
you're
stats.
saying
I
if
know
I
that
had a bank, I wouldn't
black
do this,
banks were
right?
turning the
Which is
same people
great.
down. Black banks were turning the same people down. I don't know. We gotta, like I said, I look into these things and I see things a lot differently from a different set of lens when I'm looking at stats. That's all I'm saying. I got to see stats. You know, they got to see stats. It's easy to say, yeah, banks were turning down black people, but what kind of black people were they turning down? Were these people qualified?
It was black people.
Were these people world
It
qualified?
was
I don't know.
it was just black people. What
I
I'm
gotta
saying to
see
you that
what were their credit scores? What were their credit
so
score? What were their income? What were
okay,
their debt to
better
income ratio?
question.
I have to know that for
Better
every
question.
single one I got turned down. I have to know
Or
that
what you
before I make a decision.
or or what you could do is take the stats out of the way, right? And say that they were Caucasians who were worse off than those black people that went in for loans, yet they were approved.
But who's stupid there? What bank is that? Who's stupid there? That's what I'm saying. What dummy would make that a choice?
Now,
That's not how
now,
banks
now
work.
we're now we're
Banks
moving
are in it
now
to
we're
make
moving the
money.
goalposts.
No, we're not
Now
moving
we're
the
moving the
goalposts.
goalposts.
No, we're not. You got to tell me that did black banks let those white people that didn't qualify get the loans?
What I'm saying to you is that there was a bunch of financial institutions, right, that allowed for Caucasian people to come in and get loans, right, who are in worse financial situations than African Americans or minorities, right, simply based on their race. So what I'm saying to you now is, now that I've said that to you, right, now your thing is, well, that makes them stupid. Great, but it doesn't change the fact, right, which is that was something that was happening.
But the
It doesn't
problem is,
change the fact
I
that
have to. That it
it
does
doesn't
change.
change
I
that
got to know what the
it
fact
doesn't change
actually
that there
is.
was a
How
market
many of those
that
people
allowed
got
a
loans?
red line to go around certain places where black people were just banned from getting those houses no matter what. It doesn't change the fact that
Were
Clarence
they
Avant,
qualified? Were they qualified?
who's a
You
yes,
don't know. You
and
don't
it
know.
doesn't.
That's the
I
problem. You
do.
got to find out they're qualified. I have to have the
All right.
stat.
So
Like I can't just go
Clarence
off of
Avant.
those things. That's my thing now. All of these black white things. I need stats. I need facts. Like I said, I'm studying economics.
Okay. So
These things
do
just
you
don't make
believe
sense
in
anymore.
do you believe in Jim Crow? Do you believe in civil rights?
Do I believe
Or
in
do
it?
you
It
do you
happened.
need facts?
I understand that it happened.
So and in it happening, right, you also do understand and believe, right, that African Americans were treated or mistreated in certain areas, right? So we're talking about as far as education, we're talking about as far as work is concerned, we're talking about as far as owning homes, right? We're talking about interactions with police, right? You don't think that before social media, there was a group of black people in different states that just got together and said, we're just going to make these issues up in hopes that people believe it, right? You know that this is something that they had to have gone through, right?
I got to redo the research.
You have to do the research to know that this happened.
Yeah, I don't let none of that stuff bother me. Nobody's doing the research for me anymore. I'm doing all the research. So I do remember hearing about what you're talking about.
It happened though.
Listen, I got to do the research because the numbers are a little different, actual facts and numbers. I like looking at those things now. So I'm not really into all the hoopla, that the black hoopla. I get what black people say. I get it. But the problem is that hasn't helped me at all prosper. And none of it is I've had none of it become true in my life. That's the only thing. And I know people say, "Oh, that's you." But like I said, I'm playing my game. This is all the way with me. I'm all the way with it. It sounds crazy, but I'm all the way with it. I'm all the way with it, man. Why would those people getting turned down? And look at it. Look at how dumb a bank would be to. And this is why, like I said, there was a housing crisis, because you're giving all these loans to people that don't deserve to have the loans, and they can't pay back the mortgage. And look, boom, housing bubble, boom, crisis. And that's what happens. Like, there's a lot of black excellence. And I think the big thing this boils down to, this becoming educated, coming up with a plan, and you should be able to prosper. The smarter you are, the more educated you are, the better. And I don't think anybody, especially in this is somewhat free market, if you have the education, then if you can make me money, I don't see the point of anybody discriminating you. It's stupid. Why would somebody pick somebody because of their race and they can't make him any money?
But I think, first of all, you're making it seem like segregation or civil rights made sense in the first place. Who did it make sense to? Who did slavery make sense to? So to say that it didn't make sense, or now you need a different explanation, right? It's being biased or being racist doesn't make sense to you, right? It doesn't make sense to me, but that doesn't mean that it didn't happen. It doesn't mean that there weren't a group of people who despised the fact that African Americans were going to integrate their school system, right? That there was a young lady by the name of Ruby Bridges, who probably great grandparents and grandparents of people who we interact with were people who were standing outside the school throwing bottles or hurling racial slurs at a kid, then, right, to stop her from going into the school system. So I don't think you need statistics to prove that to you, because this is something that's documented, right? This is things that they have evolved how they've been treating us as far as the mistreatment of African Americans or minorities as a whole, right? And we just see it on a different scale. So whenever I hear people who look like me, right, or come from the same demographic as I come from, that goes, yeah, sometimes I think people might be exaggerating. Exaggerating what? Like, who's exaggerating the mistreatment, though?
Hey, bro,
who's saying to you?
I'm saying it just there's other stories. There's other stories. No, I'm with this whole. I'm with this all the way. I get it. I know what you're saying, and like I said, it's not good enough to turn me on the way I think. But I understand where you're coming from. But I just like to do the education about all of it, and I stick with the facts, and I look at it that way. That's the way I go about it. And I just took that whole black and white thing. I kind of just throw everything everybody told me kind of like out the window and start fresh and just figure it out myself, because I learned that that's better for me. And the same thing goes when it comes to religion too. That's why I did the same thing when it comes to religion. So yeah, I know what you're attempting to do when you're talking to me, and I appreciate it and I get it. But I'm just like, look, let me look at the stats, let me look at the facts, let me look at it from both sides. I'm here all different sides of the story.
Who's giving you the facts, right? Because when you say that, right, and we're now in a time where people are trying to get rid of critical race theory, right? Or they don't want to teach certain things in our school system, not because it's not true, but they just don't want their kids or their offspring, right, to feel bad about certain things.
Yeah, I wouldn't. If my son's cognitive ability, if my son's cognitive ability was that of a normal child, I wouldn't be wasting my time with a lot of the black and white bullshit. Not at all. We're working on finances, education, and getting. That's just my thing. And even my brother's kids, the same thing. That's what I think is important. I'm more worried about education.
So when they walk into a room,
being productive.
Right? When they walk into a room and they have money, right, and they're financially independent, like their uncle, right, but they walk into this room, right, and they're unable to read the room because they haven't been taught that you can walk into a room full of Caucasians or a room full of people from a different ethnicity, right, and not be accepted. That they want your money, right, because Walmart wants your money. They just don't want to hire you, right? So when you walk into that room, to understand that there's a difference between people accepting you, right, and then there's a difference between people just wanting you around because you have money, right? When no one, when you're supposed to be a 50-50 partner, but nobody really wants to hear what you got to say because because you're thinking of being inclusive, right? And that the only thing that matters is money and who can make me money, right? But this guy's just looking at that you're just N-word with some money or good credit, right? And they want to kind of piggyback off of what you got going on, right? So let's not act like that part of the education is not needed, right? That there is a particular way that you have to deal with law enforcement when you get pulled over, as opposed to a different demographic of people, right? So yeah, you may have some money, but that don't mean that when the cop pull you over, you can ask him what the F is wrong with him if he ain't got nothing else better to do. Because even though you saw your friend do that, or because you saw your business partner do that, that doesn't mean that you have the same carte blanche, right? So when again we turn a blind eye to certain things or act like these things don't affect us in certain ways, it makes me wonder, right? Oh no, well I've never had that encounter with the police before. Yeah, but the people who've had that encounter with police are dead, right? And it doesn't mean that these things haven't happened. So just because you say, well, the only thing I'm focused on is success and money, and that's really all that happens. Like, I've never had a bad interaction with the cops. Great. And I hope you never do. But on the off chance that you do, right? What I don't want you to do later on is come back now and be like, hey guys, we have to rise up. Because I'm gonna honestly ask you, well, who the fuck is we? It wasn't just we a couple of months ago when you wanted statistics.
Yeah,
It wasn't we a couple of months ago when you acted like you didn't know what was happening.
Like I said, I love the enthusiasm, but it's not changing and shading me. I am not into the black and white talk. It just doesn't do anything for you, and it doesn't progress, and you don't even need it. I wouldn't even waste my time. To your point, I wouldn't waste my time teaching my kids none of that.
So when you fill out an application, do you have to put your race up there?
Yeah, you have to put your race up there.
Why? If it doesn't matter, why do you have to put it up there?
Because of the demographic for the census, probably they need to do stats.
No, sir. No, sir. You can't hit me with the probably. You're about to put your identifying information on this application. Why do you do it?
You don't have to do it. You don't have to do it.
Fill out an application and don't put your race or your gender up there and tell me how that works out for you.
I've gotten a loan for a property like that
without putting your race or your gender.
I didn't even fill out the application. I had the white lady fill it out for me.
Oh, did she put your race and your gender?
Nope.
Or did she put in the application for you?
She put the application in for me.
Boom. I ain't even got to give you no proof.
But look,
I ain't got to give you no proof.
But she didn't want it. She didn't bother asking me that. Like I said, to your point, I didn't fill it out. It wasn't filled out. I didn't fill it out. I think they're trying to get away from that.
No, they're not.
But like I said, to the point, it must be for statistics and things of that nature. I dismiss all of the
people get credit for that stuff. You get credit for the amount of black people that you hire, right?
I get what you're saying. I just look at it like, I see that smart people, intelligent people that put their focus and emphasis on education don't seem to have these issues. And they can't say it, so I say it for them.
Like who?
I know people.
What educated person doesn't? Like who? I'm saying, like, what educated person doesn't have that issue?
What issue? A black and white issue, or afraid to walk in a room because they feel like they're not accepted in the room? Bro,
no.
It doesn't matter.
You can't minimize what black people have gone through to say you're afraid to walk into a room, right? What I've said to you is that people can't drive through certain areas, right? Because they're going to be stereotyped, right?
The same thing can go for another race too.
Because you're going to be profiled, right?
And that's just because you're black. And it's only because you're black.
I'm saying you're going to be
drives to a black neighborhood. Do you think they're going to get profiled? They get profiled too.
And what happens to them? What's the statistic on them after having an interaction with police being shot and killed, as opposed to one that's just driving through
actually, the statistic is that they have more contraband on them. They have more contraband on them.
Killed? Are they shot and killed?
Every black person that gets pulled over by the police is shot and killed.
That's not what I said.
But now we're talking about the statistics. That goes to the point.
We're talking about the statistics, though.
Yeah, but it's not giving all the statistics. You're not looking at all the statistics. You're looking at only the people that got killed.
A black person driving through a suburban area, right? Who's more likely to be shot and killed? Is it the black person driving through the suburban area, or the white person driving through an urban area?
You'd be surprised. You have to look at the numbers.
No, I wouldn't.
We have to look at the numbers. We have to look at the numbers. That particular one right there. I just didn't get a chance to get to that. That particular situation right there. The numbers show different results than what you're trying to. What's the word? I get what you're trying to say basically. I get what you're trying to say, but the numbers say something totally different. So that's what I'm saying. Like I'm on that end of it. I
So
need
when you look
empirical
up these
evidence.
numbers,
Like I just don't
when you
need
look
what
up these
somebody's
numbers,
saying just because they feel a certain way
who's
because of
locked up
social
more?
media.
When you look up these numbers, right? Who's locked up more?
So you're going, okay, I believe that, okay, African Americans are locked up.
No, you don't. But you can't say you believe it because you know. I know you
I
research.
didn't necessarily look at that particular number, but I'm saying is I can agree with that. I believe that that's correct. I believe that's correct.
Right.
But see, I'm not sure, but I believe that's correct. That's all I'm saying.
So
now we got to look at the job. Look at the jobs. Look at why they got locked up. Look at all those things. We got to look at those things too. It does matter. It matters a lot.
It can't. How does the minority demographic become the majority in a particular industry and nobody wonders why? We're the minority. It's literally how we're referred to. We're the minority here. How can we be the majority in prison?
Bro.
And you don't see a problem with that?
You gotta see. I gotta see the number of violent crimes.
No.
What you're doing is you're just going off of. You're just going off of like bias right now.
You're being hypocritical now.
You don't want to do any research on exactly those numbers. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It probably might show you something a little bit different, Rob.
Have more. If you're telling me that there's
Black
more
people do more violent crimes, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's a stat. That's in the book. That's what I'm saying. That's in the book. That's a fact. That's a stat. You can look in the book. That's what I'm saying.
That black people do more violent crimes?
Like I said, that's why I don't want to get into it until I get the actual facts. What you're saying right now is this, I get you, cultural black stuff. I get it. And that's what I'm saying. That stuff doesn't lead to success. I don't know anybody that's successful that has all of that in the back of their mind like that. I just don't think that way. It doesn't work for me. But I get what you're talking about. And that's the rhetoric that I've been hearing growing up all my life. And I dismiss all of it.
When black people are arrested for weed or drugs, right? Are those violent crimes, or were they categorized as violent crimes?
Okay, so weed is legal now. Weed is legal now. So weed is legal now.
Okay, cool. Weed is legal now, right?
Look, you can't. The thing is with me.
Here's my question.
Unless you have numbers, I can't validate anything that's
weed is legal now, right?
Right.
But the people who went to prison for weed, the people who went to jail for weed and had criminal records behind weed, right? Now they're fighting to get their records expunged, right? So that they can capitalize off of the same industry, right? That was criminalized when they were doing it before. What has changed with weed from then till now?
It's legal. It's legal.
And you don't need statistics for this. What has changed with weed from then till now? Nothing. That means they still grow it the same way. It's still transported in the country the same way. The only difference now is a particular demographic has figured out a way to make money off of it, right? And now they're pushing certain people out, right? Now, here's the thing, because you're well read, right? What other areas or industries have they done that with? Liquor, cigarettes, weed.
But what I'm saying,
yes or no?
When liquor was illegal, did you get in trouble for having it or no?
Yes.
That's the same thing that I look at it for marijuana.
But it's not. You know why? Because when the Caucasian man went to court for bootlegging, right, he significantly got lesser of a charge or time than a minority or so-called minority when he got put up in front of a judge.
Here's what I'm saying. I gotta make this clear to you, bro. None of that stuff helps anybody now. I get what you're saying, and the stats say something totally different from what you're saying all the time when you actually look into these things, but that doesn't help now. What helps now?
Help in what way? When you say help, what do you mean help?
That doesn't help anybody. Like this, anything that's being said about those black stats with those numbers and whatever like that are just biased. The whole time is biased. They're not looking at it from both point of view and all points of view, and everything is only black and white. There's so many other different nationalities and races that are involved in stats and things like that. Everything is not just black and white. So that's what's crazy about this conversation that comes up too all the time when people talk the black and white stuff. It just doesn't yield to any type of success. How does this help in the business field? How does this help? People need money. People need finances, understand finances. How does these stats help right here? And it, like I said, they're not necessarily true.
What when you said it's not true, what do you mean it's not true? What's not true?
We don't have any facts. We don't have any facts in front of us. We don't have any facts from this year. We don't have none of those numbers in front of us. And those facts have to tell, not just talk about black and white, but they have to talk about everybody. If we had the facts, like this wasn't this type of episode, but if we can analyze facts, then we look at it different. That's what I'm saying. It'll be totally different analyzing facts.
Who's creating these facts? Who's creating the facts? Like, what impartial person is creating the facts?
They have economists. So, okay, in that case, what if I tell you that there are economists that create the facts that have no bias? You wouldn't believe that, right?
So
then it's not.
I'm asking who.
See, that's what I'm pointing. That's the problem with having this conversation with individuals like you. There's no facts that I can ever show you that'll suffice.
You 100% good. I'm just asking who.
But I'm saying there are people out here who put these things together. Economists don't care about it. They just want to look at the numbers. You know, you have people who put these numbers together.
What person does not have bias?
A person
who's out there that you're telling me right now that don't have bias? Because keep in mind, if you go back to the beginning of this video, right, you talked about your bias. So now when you're talking about, oh, I'm a person that lives strictly off of facts, right? Everybody has bias. Every single person in life has bias.
You have to, but there's certain underlying facts that we can agree on. You know what I'm saying? But there has to be people out there who check certain things. That's why I'm not all for a certain type of other things, but that's that. But there are people who check science. You have to check science. There's a lot of things that if somebody comes up with some type of experiment and say this is true, it has to be checked. You know, through epistemologists, they check those things. Same thing when it comes to this. People check the numbers. So you have people whose job is to check the numbers and tell the numbers and just have the numbers where they are. And it's to start the numbers what they are.
When you talk about actuaries and people who go around and deal with statistics, right? You also know that these people can be bought, right? So you know that there was a whole scandal about people who did DNA testing, right? Hold on. There were people who did DNA testing, right? They didn't have a dog in that fight, right? And there was a woman who got convicted because in her job, right, as a forensic technician, right, she would fudge things, right? You do know that there are people out there who will fudge numbers because depending on what group it is that they're trying to work for, right, they will have things look a particular way. Can we agree to that?
Problem. What your thing is, and I get it. It's like a religious standpoint, kind of. There's no based on no fact. There's nothing can ever be based on fact and reason. You can't find your own conclusion at all.
You're saying that if I send these to you,
but this is kind of what you're saying. Hold on, real quick. This is what you're saying to me. There's no way. You're saying to me, there's no way we can find out the fact. There's no way we can find out the truth. There's nothing we can find out. And even if we did have somebody who did this, we can't believe them. So that's kind of like I said, I can't get with that type of thinking because
that's not what I'm saying.
Can we find truth in this fact?
There are people. I'm saying that there are people out there, right?
Well, where are they, Rob?
I'm saying that there are people out there who are biased, right? People are biased. People will sway things in the way that they want it done.
Hear me out. When I'm saying about how we check science, right? We check science epistemology. We got to see why we know what we know. That's how we check science. Because somebody just can't come up with some idea and it's not checked. That's what I'm saying. When it comes to this, we have to check this because that's where I'm at. I check everything that's being said. Like, I'm not trying to take away from what you're saying. I just know that a lot of that rhetoric, when you check it, and it's not factual based, the facts tell a different story. That's all I'm saying when it comes to that. We have to just check it. That's all. Just like the way we check science to make sure, okay, you know what? This experiment was correct. This conclusion it came out with, it makes sense with everything else that's going on. It makes perfect sense. So this is actual fact. This is that. They check that. The same thing here. That's all I'm saying. And a lot of times it's not checked. And it's not going up against other stories that tell the opposite story. Like for every bad story that happened to a black person, like there's no good story that's being on the news. And how many good stories happen? And then vice versa, not just black people. Like I said, it's not just black and white too. This thing is not just black and white.
When you say for every bad story, there's not a good story, right?
No, what I'm saying is for every bad story that happened, there's probably more than likely there was probably an interaction with a black cop and a white cop and a black individual that actually went fine. We only hear about the killing. You understand what I'm saying? So that can be kind of like put out there disproportionately from what's actually happening and what's actually going on. So that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Question. Are cops supposed to kill people?
No, that doesn't sound like it makes any sense. I can backtrack that and say like, no.
Your job is to enforce the law, right? And
let me ask you a question: how many white people how many white people did cops kill, and how many Asians and how many Hispanic people did cops kill?
It depends on the state that you're in, right? But also keeping in mind, right, since we're talking about statistics, and you're saying that blacks are the minority, right? Again, the crazy part is that cops have more interactions with minorities than they do with the people who are considered the majority, and that's in the majority of states.
I've seen that when it comes to cops pulling over people. I've seen that, and I've read that.
How does that make sense to you? Then,
but also, and you've got to add to that whites have more contraband on them more often than all of these other people too. So you have to put that in there. So that's definitely from profiling.
Does that make sense?
That's from profiling.
Does that make sense to you?
That's from profile. I get that from I can see that happening from profiling, people not being educated, social media, a lot of other things. People walking around spitting the rhetoric that you're spitting. I get it. Like all of that stuff.
But it's not. But that's the thing. It's not rhetoric.
It's not necessarily fact and truth neither, because you can't give me a fact or truth. Nothing you said was a fact at all. But I get what you're saying.
When I said that police have more interactions with the minorities of this country than the majority, which doesn't make any sense. When I said to you that in prison, the minorities make up more than the majorities in this country, that doesn't make any sense. If water on this planet is the majority, right? So if we had more earth on this planet than water, something would be wrong.
So what is
the earth is made up of more water than anything else, yes?
What is your overall conclusion
though? Interacting with black people than you are with the people who majority make up this earth.
Okay, now you give me. Basically, I understand where you're coming from, but where are you getting your stats from?
What do you mean? It's all
on social media, right? That's what I'm saying. Like I said,
okay.
I've already dismissed all of the black stuff.
You can have that conversation. You can have that conversation with somebody else. You can never say my facts come from social media.
That's what I'm saying.
My information will never be social media based.
Okay, then how come my information tells me something different?
Well, it depends on what you're reading, because
I'm reading both things. I've had black people tell me send me black books so I can read it from a black person's standpoint of view, and I got people white authors, and I have black authors from all different sides, so I'm all over the place with it. All I know is that black and white shit is bullshit. That's why it's just bullshit. I don't teach my kids that. I don't teach my family that. We don't go by none of that.
When you were reading the black book and the white book, right? Did any of those books tell you to come in the middle and read the Comstat report? Do you know what a Comstat report is?
No.
Okay, so
you can teach me now, mind you. Just because I don't know, don't mean you can't teach me. I'm very
I'm
very easy to learn something. So go ahead.
A Comstat report is a report that the police use, right? And it tells you, or it breaks down what's happening in any particular area that they patrol or that they're responsible for.
So the books that I do read, they read those reports. The authors that I read about, they read.
No, sir. You ain't gonna hit me with that, because what you said to me is that what I just told you, you couldn't take my word for it. So I don't give a damn what they wrote in the book. You should have did your own research.
Bro, listen to this. I do my research, and the black and white shit is bullshit. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's bullshit. It doesn't work for me. None of it works. None of it works.
Research. You said those guys in those books.
They did their research.
And what was the research?
They're established authors. But what I'm saying,
what was the research?
You think I have a verbatim? Look, listen. I didn't come on here.
So you're saying because
I didn't come on here to talk about
it means that they can't lie?
No, what I'm saying, I'm not saying that. That's CD. You like I said, you're religious. I get it.
I'm asking you a question.
Listen, I read these authors. So you telling me the authors are lying? Okay, now where is the evidence? Let's read the same type of stats. That's what I'm saying. People like you have no stats. Give me the stats. Give me the same type of stats. Let's both analyze it. And I'm gonna tell you that I'm not making no black excuse like black people make. That's bullshit. It's always been bullshit, and I just leave bullshit alone. I don't deal with bullshit. If it's not a stat, if I don't got it as a stat, I can't analyze it. I'm sorry.
But what makes the stat factual?
We can go. Like I said, not now because we're not going to do it. Now, what makes the factual?
What makes the statistic factual?
There you go. So you, like I said, you believe there's no way that you can understand
that's not what I'm saying.
Yes, you do.
Asking you
believe there's no way you can search for
fact. What is the definition of
you believe there's no way you can search for reason. That's crazy, bro.
No, I'm saying
that's crazy.
What makes the statistic factual? I'm asking you now to educate me on what makes the statistic factual.
If we can read it and we can follow through and see that what's said here we can see that it makes sense and it's factual. Basically, we have to trust the source. Yes, I get that.
What
We
makes
have
it
to trust the
factual?
source. We have to trust the source that it came from. It's true. It's true. That's what makes it factual. It's something that's gonna be
Okay.
proven.
So I'm
It's something that can be
asking you,
proven. Something
what
that can
makes
be proven, bro.
okay, so if it can be
None of
proven,
that
right?
black stuff that
Where
you're
a
talking
person,
about can't be
where a
proven.
person in where now they put in data, right? And the data is now going to spit out some numbers. Yes, is that
Okay.
what makes it factual?
It can be proven, makes it factual. That's the thing. It can be proven, makes it factual. You're trying to change definitions. You can do all you want.
I'm not. I'm
Just to make
asking
your
you a
point, but it's not
question.
worth it. I answered your question. What makes
You
it
didn't.
truthful? Yes, I did. It
You
can be
said.
proven. That's what
You
makes it a
said.
fact. What are you talking
Okay.
about? You
What
asked me what makes it a fact.
It has to be. It has to be able to be
It
proven.
can no. It can be proven. That makes
That
it
it
a
can
fact.
be proven.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So you're saying that if black people are saying that they got pulled over more times than the majority or the white people.
Black people aren't saying that. These are you talking about stats. There's a stat that says that makes your case, right?
No.
And what is the case you're trying to make through this whole
No.
conversation? I don't understand.
Because I said to you was that black people
of what?
That black people were saying it, right? And then you have people like you who were denying it, right? And then y'all threw stuff in there like, well, what was the reason why you got pulled over there? Instead of just admitting that what's being said is that they were pulled over at a different rate than any other demographic.
Like I said, I need more information.
What information did you need?
Like I just told you, if you wanted to be funny about it, but I need all information.
I wasn't being funny. I'm being serious. I'm saying to you that they're telling you that they're saying.
I need all information. I'm sorry. I need all information. I need all information. I know some shitty black people. I'm sorry. Look, I'm keeping a G with you.
We all know them. We all know them.
And that's the reason why I started doing this research. And it's research that tells different stories, bro. I've always felt that way. Like, yo, why the hell? Let me look at
against feelings is two different things, right? So if a black person is telling you that black people get pulled over, right, more than white people, right, that is a fact, right? Your feeling on why they got pulled over has nothing to do with the fact. The fact is that they're pulled over at a disproportionate rate than white people. And not why they got pulled over.
Profiling. That sounds like profiling to me. That's what I'm saying.
It doesn't matter what it sounds like. Well, we're just talking about the fact, though. Now, this is what I'm saying about you, though, right?
But there's more to it. You want to look more.
It doesn't matter why, though.
It always matters. That's the thing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Crap is for
why
people
does it
that
matter now?
Believe in stuff and don't want to do more research and don't want to go deep.
Unfortunately, what does the reason behind it matter?
You can't be lazy, bro. You can't be
lazy.
What
does the reason matter? The fact is that they're pulled over more than anybody else.
That doesn't sound right. What does the reason matter? What do you mean? You always want.
We're talking about one thing. We're talking about the fact that they got pulled over. Yes.
Right.
Okay. The reason why they got pulled over is not. I didn't say that they got pulled over for a particular reason more than anybody else.
I disagree with you with that because I've read that somewhere. I've read that in the book, but even though the book was from 1995, but I did read that in the book, and I'm gonna go ahead and trust the book. But I am still interested into the reasoning behind it because you said it getting put over by disproportionately, right? This shows you that the reasoning behind it is obviously doesn't make any sense because you didn't even know that they got less contraband on them than white people when they get pulled over. So,
but that's what I'm saying. You're moving the goalposts because I don't care about.
There's no actual reason. The reason is that they were being profiled. They were being profiled. That's probably what's happening. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I just like to be more educated. The fact. That's why you want to know reason. The reason.
But I don't want the reason. I'm saying to you, see, that's the thing. You involve the reason.
Good. Yeah, I'm into that. I'm into reasoning. I'm into reasoning. Yes, and rationality. Yes, absolutely.
Before we got to the reason, though, right? Let's stay with the first fact. Is that they got pulled over more than Caucasians. Fact. Nothing else. No reason. No, we're not going to sprinkle cheese on it.
You're getting all the hype, but you don't even know this answer. You don't answer
I'm good.
Were they only getting pulled over by white cops? Now you're gonna say it doesn't matter.
I never gave you, but I didn't. No, but that's not what I said.
No, but I'm asking you a question. Do you know what I said? Do you know the answer to that question? Because if you don't know the answer to that question, this conversation doesn't make sense because we gotta have everything.
I said police interaction. Did I say white police or black police?
Right.
You said to me.
I'm asking
here's the thing. No, but here's the thing, right? You're being hypocritical because in one sense you're saying white and black doesn't matter. At no point in time did I say the race of the police or anything. I said they were disproportionately pulled over by police. I never said the race of the police. I never gave you the reason why. I simply stated the foundation of my argument is that they were pulled over. That was it. if we can agree,
undertone of all that was black and white when
negative,
it started. So
negative.
Yes,
if we can agree to the fact that if we can agree to this
already
fact,
agreed to that. We already
then we can move on past that. Now what you want to do, but now what you want to do is you want to move. About what?
That white actually has more contraband on him.
And I learned something from you. Okay, great.
Right, but like what I've said,
but that don't have nothing.
Is you don't know the answer to it, which would actually make it better to understand
to whether or not they were interacting with white police as opposed to black police.
Yep, that's part of it, because this conversation is null and void if you don't have that information.
Well, none of us have that information because, again, we're not speaking on one particular town. I didn't come to you and I say, hey, in Bumblefuck, Indiana, they're getting pulled over, right? We were just talking about nationally. Right? And nationally, nobody said more black police are pulling over black people, right? They said police, right? Because at this point now, they're looking at police as a whole entity.
Yeah, not where are we getting at with black police? Because this doesn't, because like I said, this is one of those conversations.
We were talking about facts. We were talking about facts and statistics, and I'm saying to you that statistics can be manipulated.
Oh, you know what triggered you when I told you I don't do none of the black and white bullshit. Yeah. That's
no. I didn't like when you called it rhetoric. I don't like. I don't like when we
black rhetoric. I don't do none of that.
I don't like when we talk down on our history.
It's rhetoric because you don't have the stats. Like I said, you have
like no statistics to have when you living in the time.
You got to have the stats, bro. Because when you talk that stuff and you say it, you want to have some facts and some stats.
Are you living in today though?
Obviously, bro. Come on.
Right. So when you're living in today though, right? That's what I'm saying. It's like
where do you get this information from? What book are you getting this information from?
I don't need a book for it. I live in it, right? I live in a time now where I get to work.
Social media. You got to get it from social media and get it from what?
No.
Get it from more people with the rhetoric that don't read books and get it from social media or the news. Like that's what I'm saying.
Here's my issue, right? Is that people that assume that because you read something that it makes it factual, right? People also assume that the more that you read, the smarter that you are, right? And that's also not a fact, right? Because you can read a whole bunch of dumb think pieces, or you can have a favorite author who's an idiot, right? And because you read and regurgitate what this person is saying, it doesn't make you any smarter than anybody else.
I would suggest you read though. I would suggest anybody read though. I understand what you're saying, but
supposed to read. But what I'm saying is that. But you can't read and take everything
a lot of stuff
to be
in books.
factual.
How obvious it is here. You can see how obvious it is here in this conversation. There's a lot of things hidden in books. So I think it's
it's not hidden. It can't be hidden if it's in the book. It's just a matter of you actually going out and getting it.
I've actually read a lot of stuff in books that I haven't seen on podcasts or on the internet yet. So obviously it's hidden. That was actually one of the things that I actually noticed, that things are hidden in books. Like nice gems are hidden in books, especially when I don't see them mainstream like that, the gems. So I can argue that they're hidden.
It's never going to be hit. It's never going to be mainstream because people don't like information, right?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying I can argue that point. But
when you hide something, hide something, it's for people not to get it, right? What you're doing is, again, and
it's a metaphor. It's a metaphor. You're trying to. But what you're playing with semantics right now.
I'm saying what you're doing is you're regurgitating what was kind of said back in the day, right? Which is that if you wanted to hide something from an N-word, that you put it in the book, right? Because it was their way of being racist in public without anybody actually knowing.
I'm actually saying you hide it from anybody who can read a book. I mean, if you can hide like anything from people.
No, I get what you're saying.
Like little nuggets and books that people haven't
you where it came from
yet and stuff. I'm
telling you where it came from though. It was supposed to be a running joke amongst Caucasians where if you wanted to hide information from black people, you put it in a book because that was the last place that they were going to look.
Rob, here's my thing. The black and white thing didn't help me out at all growing up. It actually hindered me and made me feel less of myself for no reason. It wasn't until I started doing my own research and figuring things out. And I said, you know what? I've always felt that some of this was BS because I always felt good about who I am. But I'm like, some of this stuff I didn't really need to. It's good that I did get it though, because now I can look at it from a more of a open perspective.
From two different standpoints.
Yeah, I like that a lot. And like I said, I wouldn't waste probably little to no time on. I don't think it's a need right now. Nowadays.
So when you were in the retail industry, you never encountered racism or bias?
No, man. Nah. But like I said, that could be particular to me because of the type of person I am. It's a little different. But
Are
somebody
you
would have
saying that
to.
you didn't encounter it, or did you just turn a blind eye to it?
I didn't encounter it. Like somebody had to remind me. Like what's going. Like I didn't encounter it. I didn't encounter it.
Like, are you one of those people that you might have encountered something and you just kind of just threw it out of your head, or you just
That'd
like,
be
yeah,
trauma. That'd be trauma. No, no. I've always had. I never had that issue, man. And that's the
you
reason
had
why
good.
I started. That's the reason why I started looking up and doing this research about everything. It's like, yo, I see the issue everybody else is having, and I think it's more of them. Like they have. I hear black people they have issues. You know, like I said, I hear the black rhetoric, but that same individual be the type of person say, "Oh, don't let nobody call me the N word. It's a rap. I might kill him." And it's like, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
no, I mean,
Now I
I think
start
that
when I hear those type of things, like let me start doing research. This don't sound
no,
right. Let
I
me
think
start doing more research
if
about
you get
this.
to the point that you want to kill somebody over a word, I
Come
think
on, bro.
That's completely different, right?
But I never had the issue. I never had the
I
issue
do
when it
think
comes
that
to
I
racism.
do
No.
think that there's a point where your respect has to be like you can't negotiate your respect, right? And I'm never gonna sit in a room with somebody and allow them to disrespect me off of just simply me acting like well, words don't matter, or I can still do business with a person that considers me an N-word, right? I also don't feel like I need to interact with the person like that, right? I think where you and I probably will agree is what I don't like is a dude that will take a stance like that. Well, I won't ever let a white man call me the N word, right? But then you get around your boys, and I don't know who y'all talking to because every single one of y'all refer to each other as the N word, right? So if you're completely against it, be completely against it, right? Don't be against it only when somebody calls you that, right? It baffles me when females get mad, right? You want to go home and call your brother because this dude called you a bitch, right? But then when you get around your girls, right? Yeah, bitch this and bitch and bitch and bitch, right? It doesn't make any sense to me. If you're against it, you have to be completely against it, right? You can't um find some wiggle room in your disrespect, or it's only disrespectful when it comes from this person, right? You don't like being called bitch any other time, but then when you're dealing with your partner sexually, right? You don't mind being called whores and bitches and all this other stuff. But when you go out there, you want this the utmost respect, and people can't talk to you a certain way. If you're against it, just completely be against it, right? So back to what we were saying about the N word. Yeah, you're right. If you're at the point where you're willing to kill for this quote unquote respect because you won't let somebody disrespect you by calling you the N word, right? Then I think it's weird when you get around people who look like you and you allow them to call you the N word or even worse,
Right.
right? As
Like,
a sign of respect.
let me throw this in there. Have you ever had a white person rob you?
Have I ever had a white person rob me?
Yeah. Have you ever had a white person rob you? Will break into your house and
Like
rob you?
physically? No, not no.
No. All right. I've had a black person rob me. Um, have you ever gotten into a physical altercation with a white person?
Yeah.
Okay. I've never gotten a physical altercation with a white person. Um, there's a bunch of other things, but those are two things for me. Like I've never
I've
had
gotten a,
bad
I've gotten into a
interactions with.
physical altercation with a Caucasian person, and that was simply because they were drunk. I've gotten into a physical altercation with a Caucasian person because they were they tried to impose their physical will on me, and at that point, I felt like that was a no no. So it didn't get to the point of us throwing blows, but we were almost there. Um, I've had the same thing done with pretty much I've definitely say I've had physical altercations with black people. As far as being robbed, no. But I mean, I can't say that I've been robbed. Well, I guess maybe for my bicycle when I was younger by a black person.
Yeah. So
But
that's what I'm
I
saying.
live around I
I
live
haven't
around black people, so
I
I
haven't
mean
had bad
those
experience.
interactions are a little bit different. I think, but I've had not so good interactions with everybody, right? And I think what I've learned is that I'm not against the black and white so much as I'm against making it seem like black people are the only bad people out there, and I'm against making it seem like all white people are saviors, right? So I don't. It's not a matter of just dropping your guard around somebody simply because they're white, right? And I don't think that you should drop your guard around somebody simply because they're black, right? I think you should be on your p's and q's. I think you should know that you have a circle for a reason. There are people who you can talk to. There's people who are your friends. There's people who are your family, right? because there's people in my family that I don't drop my guard around,
Right.
right? And they're my family members, right? And I would trust my friends over that particular person any day because that person has done me dirty as a family member, right? So I think that as I get older, I tend to now look at things a little bit different to say that, yeah, these people are out here, right? They are good white people and they're bad black people, right? That when I watch the Boondocks, for instance, right? I've run into more Uncle Ruckuses out here in my life than I have anywhere else, right? I think that there are more people who are looking for acceptance from particular demographics, right? And I think if we were to, let's say, this quote unquote war that's supposed to happen now that Trump is in office, right? That I would be watching my back over some of these black people more than I would for the white people because a lot of these people are looking for acceptance in that area and don't realize that they're not going to get it, regardless of how many times you badmouth black people or what you say about black people, that you're not going to be accepted from them because at the end of the day, they look at you just like they look at them the same way.
Mm.
But because I know that and I understand that, right? I'm able to kind of understand certain things and I'm able to kind of deal with things in a certain way, right? I'm not going out there looking for enemies, right? But I also know that everybody ain't my friend. And I think as I get older, some of the people that I used to laugh at when I was younger, say like they used to be talking foolishness, right? I completely understand what it is that they were saying then. I understand it now, right? So everybody ain't your friend. Every smile ain't a smile, right? Every time you see somebody teeth, it ain't because they smiling,
You know what?
right? And everybody don't mean you good.
You know, the crazy thing is, like, yeah, I like, you know, like I said, I haven't been around a lot of white people like that. Don't like that. But I tell you one thing, I can't stand our people. I'm just gonna keep it. I'm just gonna turn it up a little notch there because as you're talking, I'm sitting here, I'm just getting like pissed off, and I'm thinking of all of those people in certain positions at the job I was in that had the same type of skin I had. Not that I thought they were supposed to do anything special for me, not at all. Trust me, because I don't need handout at all. I've always been the type of person. What are the rules? You know what? I decided I want to be good at it. I'm that nice. I'm gonna be good at it. Call it arrogance, call it confidence, whatever you want to call it. I've always been that way since 5 years old, so I never worried. But I always hated the fact that I never moved up.
Can I ask you a question?
And I owned it. Hold on. I owned it. I earned it. I earned the spot to move up, definitely. And I never moved up. It was only the kiss ass people to move up. And when the kiss ass people move up, see that you're not the kiss ass type, they're not moving you up. And that's just the way it works. And I've had a lot of issues like that. Look.
So let me ask you a question though, right? Before you move on, let me ask you a question. I want to know, why is it that we as black people look at when people, like when nepotism happens, right? Why do we look at it as a bad thing in our area, right? But when others do it, it's almost like, yo, this person got the hookup or this person did X, Y, Z. But when it happens to us, it's almost like it's a bad thing. Like I look at nepotism now, like how people used to walk around with those books of food stamps, right? They would go in the store and it's almost like we're gonna hide the fact that we're getting assistance, right? And I'm not saying that you should wear it on your forehead, right? But if I'm in a position to help my son, my kids, my family, a friend, right? Why is that looked at as a bad thing when I look at other minorities or other people, right? I look at somebody bring in their son or their friend's son into work, right? And they help them navigate through work, right? Whereas it's almost impossible for me to tell somebody that my job is hiring. It's almost impossible for me to say, hey, when I move out of this position, I'm going to bring Ronald on because, I want to mentor Ronald and wherever it is that I'm going, I'm going to make sure that he's right behind me. We look at that as almost like a bad thing, but we'll do it for other people. I've seen black people get in positive position and bring a Latino behind them, right? While the black people that help support them to get them to where they are is just still sitting in the same spot. Like, yeah, one day they're going to open the door for me. Like, why is that a bad thing? I'll take a handout.
I'm only looking at it from a capitalist standpoint. It's a bad thing.
Give me a handout.
It's a bad thing from a capitalist standpoint if me hiring my cousin Rob is not going to make me more money and I can hire somebody else who's more qualified that can make me more money. I'm never doing that. I'm always going to hire the person that can make me more money. But from your standpoint, when it comes to a government or officials type thing, they've been doing that for years. That makes sense. I guess.
But why don't we do it for each other though? You know what I mean? Like if I knew that you could get a contract through the government, right? Why wouldn't I call Ronald and be like, yo, I need you to do to fix this wall here,
Because you don't
right?
trust your people. You don't trust black people, bro.
Nah,
You
bro.
don't trust
I,
your
I, I
people.
get that you don't trust everybody, but you got to have a core group of people. Like,
You don't
listen,
trust your people.
I have absolutely no problem with hooking somebody up with anything.
Okay, you trust them, but they don't fit the look.
Yeah, but you only got one. Listen, you only gonna have one time to screw it up, right? And then it's gonna move on, right? And maybe they've helped out so many people that it's like, all right, they've moved on. But damn, yo, everybody got the same mentality. Like, nah, yo, I ain't gonna be able to do that. You know how many times I've heard people ask, like, yo, is your job hiring? And it's almost like everybody do the same. Let me scratch the back of my neck move. Like, let me look in. What do you mean? Bro,
Because
give
they
me that application. Let me put this application in and get you in there. Now,
right.
obviously, you know the people who are around you. So if certain people ask you, nah, bro, I'm good. I'm good. And I've been burned like that before, right? Assisting people to get employment, right? I've
Right,
been
right.
burned like that, right? But again, it hasn't turned me off to the point where I feel like I could never give anybody else a chance or assist anybody else in trying to be successful. And hell, if I did hook Ronald up, right, and Ronald somehow ended up um going past me as far as career wise, right? I would hope that he's smart enough to say, all right, look, I got a hook up from Rob. You know, when I get to where I'm going, I'm gonna try to hook him up or something. It's almost like now you're gonna get past me and you're gonna close the door on me, like, yeah, we're good. We're full up here. We don't need any more black people up here. Get back down there, darky.
Right,
Like
right.
we don't need like, come on, people, what's wrong with y'all?
Mm.
You
No, no,
wait till like a month later, you be like, yo, Rob, Lowe's is selling lumber for like 1 cent, right? Yo, look at my backyard. It's filled with lumber. And I'm standing there like, yo, is the deal still going? Oh, nah. They realized what they did and they closed it off. Oh, so some of that lumber is mine? No. I bought that for myself. I was just letting you know that they had the deal back. So why you ain't call me when you was buying the lumber? Nah, I'm good. What, like, why can't we give each other that hookup?
because they don't want to. They don't want to ruin their relationship with their other friends because they see that they got friends that are that are different.
That's weird, yo. That's completely weird to me. And I mean, I want to show you what I mean, right? And this is not a I don't want anybody to think this is a brag or anything, right? But in opening a karate school, right? I think one of the main things that I wanted to do was like I hate this whole me mentality, right? So I've gotten honored for like a Hall of Fame in a particular organization, right? And one of the criteria for it was that the next year you're supposed to recommend people, right? So what I did was I recommended the black belts in my school, right? Because for me, it's like, well, what sense does it make me putting a Hall of Fame thing on my wall? And every one of these certificates and awards has my name on it, right? But why can't I bring my people in with me, right? Why can't these guys know what it's like to go to a banquet and be around these same people, right? When I look at expanding as far as the karate school is concerned, it's not, oh, let me expand and open 10 more schools because Robert Hilton is going to be good. It's going to be like, yo, I don't want you teaching under me for the rest of your life. I want you to go out and go get your own school, right? I want you to do your own thing, right? And eventually we'll get back together and build a stronger foundation, right? But why always got to be about me?
What do you mean?
Like, why would it always have to be about me? Like, I don't. It. When
Everybody's
I
supposed.
talk about,
I think everybody should put the individual self first.
yeah, but once you're good, right? Just like they tell you on the airplane that, when the mask comes down, you're supposed to secure yourself first. But yeah, once you're good, it also didn't say to just F off with everybody else and hope they die. You're
Right.
supposed to help them. Why aren't we helping others? So yeah, you be good and you kicking your feet up while you're watching somebody else outside your office struggle and you ain't doing nothing for it. Like for me, when you talk about your past experience in retail, right? And you're saying, yo, there was a black guy there. For me, what I'm trying to imagine is while this guy's up in his office with his feet kicked up, right? At no point in time did he come to Ronald and say, yo, let me mentor you. Let me get you to a spot where I can fast track you to management or
Nah,
regional management or something like that.
Nobody did that.
You sat back and just allowed
Hey,
me
yo,
to
and
lead.
to that point, there was a time period where none of those managers will ever admit that I worked really hard, but I purposely worked hard for a long period of time. Maybe I told you everything with me has to be long time, like a year. year and a
10
half.
years.
After I was always in there. Not 10
10
years,
years.
hell no. After I was in there for a while, and I saw that just that alone, just work ethic and hard work wasn't enough to move you to the top. And
It
for
doesn't
that
get you
reason, I was
anywhere.
out. Yeah, I was out for that. I need to be, I want to be in place where the hard work actually shows. The harder you work, the more, the more profit you get. So it wasn't for me. That's all. But I'm telling you, some of those people in there, they were black individuals, man. They were the worst. They were the worst. They were
Horrible
terrible. They were
individual.
terrible individuals, man. I would listen to some of the stuff they say. It's just like, nah, man, this is not, even though, you can befriend people, but I still will listen to some of the stuff, and I'm not putting nobody on blast, but it's like, nah. And people are young, I guess, and people age and grow up, but still, these people in charge, and your career is in their hands, or moving up, at least in that place is in their hands. And those weren't necessarily good hands to be in at that time. But yeah. So that's where I'm at with that. Like I see, I don't really have much issues with people at all, but I know
I got issues with people.
going through my stages, and all of my issues, I would say, are with black individuals. I don't have any issues with no
I got
Latino.
issues.
Oh,
I got issues
Dominican
with
guys
people.
don't like me though. Dominican guys don't like me, but
Well, that's because you kind of
that's
look
a
like,
fact. That's a
that's
fact,
that light
bro.
skin,
I
and
don't
y'all
have
do
any
the
beef.
same thing. But y'all do the same thing. Like y'all get your eyebrows shaped up and all the other stuff,
Nah, I
and
don't do
y'all
none of
sleep
that
with
stuff.
pillows between your legs. So I can see why
Yeah,
they
the
don't
pillow
like
between the legs are different.